of the church, I'm out of the church. He ready for war, as soon as they run, get out of the dirt, out of the dirt, ayy. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Got the juice, I ain't talking no bootleg, cause we walk in the light of a new day. I can't listen to nothing a fool say. Thank the Lord that he showed us a new way. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Got the juice, I ain't talking no bootleg, cause we walk in the light of a new day. I can't listen to nothing a fool say. Thank the Lord that he showed us a new way.
Them man thought they're winning this war, but they're really not. Sons of God, yeah, we're really top. Them man thought we meet defeat, nah, they really flop. And I don't like to repeat my songs so the DJ can wheel it up. Keeping the laws, better shout out. Christ is black, better shout out. Hitting the streets, teaching the peeps, crying aloud, we shout out. They type by screen, you'll see them in the streets. Man would've thought they ain't allowed out. Man ain't letting you no bow out. Christ is king, better bow down.
Bow that knee and the lines get stamped. Brothers in purple, golden girdle, yeah, with the lines in the camp. Bringing out all this truth, better put all that oil in your lamp. Christ is the king, never gonna lose, yeah, call him the champ. When you get that milk, yeah, we're giving them laws. Spiritual food, meat well done, but with the truth, yeah, we're giving it raw. Give me that Bible, give me that sword. Just like the Romans, they taught us a new way. Run from the church, come to the truth, and I shout out Tuesday.
He put in the work. Bishop Nathaniel, yeah, he a prophet, sent back to the earth, back to the earth. He sent you to wake up the people and tell them, come out of the church, come out of the church. He ready for war, as soon as they run, get out of the dirt, out of the dirt. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Got the juice, I ain't talking no bootleg, cause we walk in the light of a new day. I can't listen to nothing a fool say. Thank the Lord that he showed us a new way. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Got the juice, I ain't talking no bootleg, cause we walk in the light of a new day. I can't listen to nothing a fool say. Thank the Lord that he showed us a new way.
Showed us a new way. Teach every week, plus it's us every Tuesday. Keeping these laws, that's our duty. Pray to the Lord that he choose me. He been surviving these devilish times, trying to hunt down and seduce me. Scripturally armed, so I'm loading it up, setting it off like a Uzi. We put in the work, to the ground man go. Catch my bros, just put in the dirt. Bishop and family be teaching our people all over the world. Organised nation, we back and we patient, it's time to get healed.
Cut them up, and block them up. Settle down, and we step up. You're humble down, we shut them up. They turn and run when the scriptures come, we burn them up. Come for the shout out, stay for the word, man, to see what's what. Don't cut the beat, Jalil, bring it back, let them feel that drop. Tell Pastor Port Belly, feel them chops. 1, 2 Galatians, can't save the nations. Man get exposed when I unload, watch them lean and drop.
He put in the work. Bishop Nathaniel, yeah, he a prophet, sent back to the earth, back to the earth. He sent you to wake up the people and tell them, come out of the church, come out of the church. He ready for war, as soon as they run, get out of the dirt, out of the dirt. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Got the juice, I ain't talking no bootleg, cause we walk in the light of a new day. I can't listen to nothing a fool say. Thank the Lord that he showed us a new way. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Shout out, shout out, shout out, Tuesday. Got the juice, I ain't talking no bootleg, cause we walk in the light of a new day. I can't listen to nothing a fool say. Thank the Lord that he showed us a new way.
I just wanna live and serve the Most High. Yeah. That's the whole duty of man in this life. Yeah. I know I'm a soldier he put on the line. I'm ready to fight, yeah. Whoa. And they persecute me like I'm Jeremiah. That's what they do. His word is the truth and it burns like a fire.
Destruction's coming very soon. I'm just warning you.
This is how you love thy neighbor. They wanna see you fall, 'cause they see you
excel, go far, excel like a car, we accelerate. Push hard to the pedal brake, all for heaven's sake, to gold metal flakes on my head and face. I'm a specialized, weaponized, mechanized, set aside, son of God. And it may come a time, try to take one of mine. Still we had a team like a number 9, never nervous. Haters make them mad on purpose, cause we in the streets where the curve is. They online where the nerds is. Let your clown make them short circuit. Please back, I'm allergic. Psalms 133, that's big unity, that's urban. And we in the end, that's curtains. Workmen on the front line on purpose.
See you fall, 'cause they see you strong. I know them haters mad. Them haters mad at us. Them haters mad. Them haters mad at us. Them haters mad. Them haters mad at us.
Hi haters, yeah. Still looking at me? Don't watch me, watch TV. Deeks in the streets with the heat, and where a hater be? Mad as hell and they see they ain't never been me, so a hater can't speak. Hey, get like me, got works on works, I'll sleep on sleep, eat meat, wanna be a beast. How UIC, we a nation of kings and priests, everything that we seem to be. If a hater got an issue, he can find us so easily. We in the streets where they need to be. Forget a PC, go hard on GP. It's innate when you believe. We sit through these fakers and laugh at these haters. It's pure motivation, more energy to achieve.
See you fall.
Your show now, press 1. To hear important instructions, press 2.
Your show is scheduled to start in 21 seconds. Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Power hour is the what? Power hour is the who? Power hour, yeah. Blacks, Hispanics, and natives. Power hour is the what? Power hour is the who? Power hour, yeah. Blacks, Hispanics, and every Saturday morning you need to be tuning in. Wake up, get crust out your eyes. We about to go live, so come get the schooling in. About our oppression, we answer the questions like how do we get out this lower state? We let the scripts prophesy. We bringing the Bible to life so that you relate. The world thinks we're rejects, but that word we reject. Watch and we'll show you. Precept upon precept, line upon line, the scripts say we're the greatest, and they can't debate it. Salvation is only for the blacks, Hispanics, and natives. Power hour is the what? Power hour is the who? Power hour, yeah. Blacks, Hispanics, and natives. Power hour is the what? Power hour is the who? Power hour, yeah. Blacks, Hispanics, and natives. Power hour is the what? Power hour is the who? Power hour, yeah. Blacks, Hispanics, and natives. Power hour is the what? Power hour is the who? Power hour, yeah. Blacks, Hispanics, and natives.
Episode. We are going to finish up with Dominican Republic, Lord's will tonight, the tribe of Simeon. Okay, we had to cut it last week. We have some more things from the book that we've been reading, The Harvest of Empire. All right, so we got The Harvest of Empire here. I know I have no monitor there. Okay, is there a reason why? Is that intentional?
On the other side.
I know. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. I got no monitor up on the screen.
Right. Oh, I see.
Right. It says HDMI 1, no signal. Is it on? Can you answer me? Is that is that intentional? Is it supposed to be that way?
I'm sorry. What was that, Cap?
This monitor in front of me is not working.
Got you. Give me 1 sec.
Oh, okay. I thought you noticed it because it's really big. It says no signal. It's on. So we're going to be going into the Harvest of Empire book, all right? Try to wrap up with that. Hey, producers, I don't know if I had any links left that we needed to look at also. So, maybe have those queued up just in case. All right. And we've been putting out a call all day. We want your questions. All right. So we wanted to field them beforehand. Obviously call-ins always welcome. All right. 516-531-9797. But if y'all have some questions you'd like to take advantage and ask, it doesn't got to be about the topic, all right? It could be anything biblically related. And we'll see if we can get them queued up for you, if we can get them answered for you, all right? I didn't get to do my sharing on my links and stuff like that, so if you guys want to chit-chat and commiserate while I do that,
All right. Well, welcome to our viewers. Welcome to our subscribers. Welcome to our first-timers. And welcome to the enemies. To the Power Hour, Native, Latin, and Black Biblical Topics, Lost History. You're in for a treat this evening with our show, like Captain Joshua brought out, trying to do something different on the show here, trying to go ahead and field some questions, all right, make it more interactive on the show, and
That's right.
give you a better experience. We're always trying to make a better experience for our loyal subscribers, loyal viewers. All right, a lot going on in the world here. You're looking at me like you want to say something with the one headphone on and one over, like you mixing or something. Brother D came over here to scratch on the vinyl.
What's wrong with you? He needs some milk.
Damn, bro. You came here to style, man, the floors and stuff, man. This brother.
Now I'm just honored sitting with the captains, Soldier Eric. That's right. I'm trying to soak it in. If I was on the other end, I would ask questions too.
Nah, you've called in.
Exactly.
You've called in, and you're pretty much a faithful viewer.
All praises.
Yeah, I see you on there. Okay.
All praise.
All right. You good?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you writing a synopsis over there?
No. I was just trying to. But I don't know, man. Facebook's
Four scores and 30 years ago.
Facebook's always changing on me. I don't know how to even like see the comment view anymore.
That's by design, man. They messing. Yeah, man. They slick, man. They banned my account. I don't know why, dude. I don't even be on Facebook like that.
Oh, you got Facebook jail?
Damn.
Yeah, and I had to circumvent that thing to get in. All I do, the only reason why I've joined Facebook is to spread the word. That's it. I ain't on there. Nobody need to know my business. Everybody thinks I'm a rhinoceros. You know what I mean? I don't even got pictures on there. You know what I mean? Yeah, that ain't my thing, bro. You know what I mean? I'm an old head, bro. I ain't about all that stuff. I think it's a great platform to promote any business. I will say that. Definitely. But not my business. You feel me? Yeah.
That was nice.
We got a question. Are we allowed to consume sea moss?
Sea moss, yes. You're allowed to consume sea moss.
Yes.
I don't know why. How many years ago did that come out? Why? Because they like to drink, what's the thing? Forgot the damn beer.
Oh, Guinness?
Guinness, yeah. Y'all like Guinness, so you want to know if it's all right?
Right.
I like Guinness, too.
Hey, cue the questions, though, because we're going to go over the DR thing. And then, so, like, build them up, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, when we collect them when we're local.
Right. Nothing wrong with sea moss, man. The short answer, no.
Yes, the short answer
lawful.
is no. There's nothing wrong with the sea moss. That is correct. That's correct.
Damn, that was like mad years ago that came out. I haven't think.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, if it's genuine,
no. I'm just saying I haven't heard that
from.
in that long. Is what I'm
Yeah,
saying, man. You know,
yeah.
I remember because we were like, hey, we can start doing research. Yeah, but it's good.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't see the comments anymore on Facebook. Like it's like a new format or something, and I can't.
I see the comments.
I can't. It's like very little. I got all this other information in front of me.
Oh, because you doing that on the web. I mean, on the computer. I'm on the phone.
Right. Yeah. So I guess if I go on the phone.
Oh boy.
What the heck?
That's you?
Yeah, I was trying to look at the
But you gotta get out of here. That's it.
I'll put it up.
You know what, man? You.
Yeah, look how little it shows me the damn.
You want me to be the comment
That's like
advisors?
down here. Look, I can't even see it. I don't know how to.
No, we actually have a team that's supposed to monitor these comments.
That's a fact. We have a team.
Well, we look on paper we have a team, but I've been seeing people posting stuff. Nobody answers that. I'm always the one that doing stuff.
They gonna do it today. Watch.
Oh yeah, they're gonna ask somebody.
Yeah, so we're still working on this monitor here, trying to get this going. Okay, all right. Well, we'll do what we can. We'll do what we can. Hey, did you guys get an inventor up? A Northern Kingdom inventor. All right, so let's do the Northern Kingdom inventor. Let's start with that. Let's start with the Northern Kingdom inventor.
This brother. Dang.
I know. I feel it's like we're all discombobulated today.
What the hell's going on?
What is going on?
Hanging.
Sister T says she about to be in Facebook jail. She said they sent me a warning.
Man, they forever be sending me warning. I don't understand, man. I ain't even on there. Did they realize how old I am? Like, that's not my thing.
They sent me warnings for stuff in the past.
They should know how old I am. I freaking went ahead and did that stupid. Well, I know I lied about the. I didn't put everything the right way.
They sent me warnings for all my Ephraim posts in the little chat.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And if you
they
post
took them all out.
anything with IUIC on it, goes against their community standards.
I got a warning for tagging our Facebook page too.
Yep.
Just the Facebook page.
Yo, they on a tear, man. It's wild.
Hey, we got sound, man. This ain't no sound. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Sister T. She's a very loyal viewer. Jabari. All right, that brother be on here even if he got to go to work or he even takes a break from work. I think last week he did that thing. Nashawn, all praises, man. You be on here like that. Shout out. I know Letitia Robinson be on here. I'm gonna please forgive me, Sister Madupe Gillis. I hope I pronounced it right. All right, all praises. Thank you for your support. See who else we got here. Who else? Oh, Rena be on here like that. Yep, all praises, sis. All right, appreciate y'all. All right, all praises, man.
Sound is good on YouTube. Is it Facebook they were saying that? No sound?
Nah, YouTube.
Oh.
YouTube.
T
We had
sound
some
is good.
sound issues at the beginning, but we
shout out
fixed
to
it. We're
brother
good.
Eric Ben Israel who's watching.
All praises.
All praises, brother. Appreciate you being loyal like that.
So the captain can see the comment.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, Shirley Judy Bot Israel. Yes. She be sharing stuff on Facebook. Yep. She be on here like that. All praises. There's another brother that be on here. Dang, he ain't on here right now, man. He's pretty much on here.
Sister Keziah.
Okay, all praises, Sister Keziah.
Shout out.
Shout it out.
Oh, Baruch be on here. Baruch Gad. All praises, brother. He be on the road too. He be taking the time out too.
Oh yeah, that brother be on every class.
Yep.
All praises.
Oh, UZO be on here too. Yeah, he just popped in. Yep. Okay. All right, what's going on, man? I'm running out of shout outs.
I'm waiting for the I don't know what's going on with the television. I can't see the monitor. I'm waiting for the inventor. Well, you could read it then, because I can't read nothing on the screen. So
you making me work today. It's not I work on Saturdays, not for Wednesdays. I'm supporting Road on Wednesdays, bro.
Come on, man.
Nah, I wasn't ready for this, man.
I wasn't ready for this either. This thing ain't freaking
The
working.
hell is this, man? You making me work, Ashaya. Damn. All right. Number 4, the electric brake. Victor Ochoa was a Mexican inventor and revolutionary who patented the electric brake in 1907. So if it wasn't for him, y'all was using your feet like the Flintstones still, basically. All right.
Oh, come on, bro.
It went up?
Yeah, this is becoming this.
Oh, that's the same guy though.
But did they just switch? How you gonna switch the webpage on him like mid?
Wow, bro.
That's the brother right there, Victor Ochoa.
Okay. We could have went to that after I finished reading, bro.
Let him finish reading the first one.
Okay, here we go. Hang with us. All right, we're back in the spirit. Let's go. All right, it uses magnetic attraction to make it easier for trains to slow down. Ochoa is also known for inventing the Ochoa plane, I guess is what it is. He named it after himself. All praises. An adjustable wrench and a pen and pencil clip, among other inventions. So, can you come back down, please, bro? Okay. So, some of these things, right, you take for granted. Like, what's that last one there? The pencil clip.
Right.
You would have to put pencils in your pocket if it wasn't for that, which I still do, by the way. But it comes in handy when you got a clip.
It's convenient.
It comes in handy, right?
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Hey, and that's why trains can go faster.
Because
now.
think about this. No, you gotta think of this deep, right? Before that, they had pencils.
Right.
No hooks, no nothing to put it on, right? You get the lead, you break the thing, gotta keep sharpening it.
Yep.
Right? Then they created the pen, same thing. And he looked at it one day and said, you know what? No, I'm serious, man. You know what? We could clip this on so you don't have to,
Probably poking itself. You know, when you put it in your pocket and the pen pokes. Or not.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They bust.
Why you look at me like that?
They bust and
that's a good
get
point.
all in your pants.
Victor Leighton Ochoa, inventor and revolutionary, was born in 1850 in Ojinaga, Mexico. Look through photographs and drawings. You want me to read this, bro, or you just showing to show the picture?
I'm just showing his picture.
Okay, all right. So that's him right there. If y'all watching, okay.
It's a car.
Hey, I've said this before, man. A lot of Israelites, Blacks, Hispanic, Native American, man, they invented a lot. I'm gonna dare to say that the earth wouldn't be moving today if it wasn't for us in those inventions.
Right.
Because guess what? I'm gonna prove it. A Judah brother invented the stoplight, the traffic light.
Exactly.
Just imagine the chaos there would have been today. It's crazy as it is here in Phoenix to begin with lights.
Cat brought that out.
And in New York.
Monday. What's the scripture? The without us, the earth will have no.
That's right.
No salt.
Yeah, right. I tell y'all on the Saturday show, man, it's all about us, man. Life and everything is. Y'all don't realize how special y'all are. You ready, Cap?
Yeah. I was just letting y'all flow.
So that was Ochoa. All right. The electric brakes, electromagnetic brakes, the pen holder. And what was the other thing?
I'm not sure. I'll be honest. This had to do with brakes.
The Ochoa plane.
Get out the room, bro.
Yeah, there we go.
The Ochoa plane.
Ochoa plane.
What were you doing?
I remember making.
Freaking, he's looking at me like admiring me, dude. I'm nobody, bro. I'm worth a popsicle stick and a shoestring.
He needs some milk.
Hey, I'm gonna answer this one real quick before I forget. The brother asked about understanding Genesis 48:22. I will answer that real quick. Let's get that because it's interesting. In my reading, I want to say, where am I at in my reading now? I think I'm in Exodus. So I had recently went over this, and I have some notes on it. So it's interesting that he asked that question. So let's read that real quick. This is it Bukaya Israel? All right.
Oh, on YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube. Genesis 48:22. Let's read that.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 48 and verse 22. Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brethren, which I took out of the hand of the Amorite with my sword and with my bow.
Right. So now let's go to Joshua 24:32. So this isn't like for a future prophecy. This is literally historical. And I'm going to prove that after we read Joshua 24:32. We're going to go to John 4:5 and explain it. So this is not dealing with any portion on this side or anything. It was literally at that time when you look at the biblical maps of the way the tribes were divided, all right? Because he was so happy that he got to see Joseph before he died, Jacob gave him a little extra piece of land right next to Samaria. Like it basically became an extension of Samaria. So it's like it annexed. Like nowadays they'll annex a town or something like that. It's kind of like that. So let's read this. Joshua 24:32.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 24 and verse 32. And the bones of Joseph, which the children of Israel brought up out of Egypt, buried them in Shechem, in a parcel of ground which Jacob bought of the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 pieces of silver. And it became the inheritance of the children of Joseph.
So this is that portion that he's talking about, all right? This is the land that Jacob had bought from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, all right? And this is where Joseph wanted to be buried. Go to John 4:5, and it'll reference it again, and it gives you the actual city name, all right?
This is the book of John, chapter 4 and verse 5. Then cometh he to a city in Samaria.
Right, so this is a city in Samaria, all right, come on.
Which is called Sychar.
Sychar, so that portion above that you read in Genesis 48:22, what we just read where Joseph was buried in Joshua 24:32 is called Sychar, come on.
Near to the parcel of the ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph.
Right, so it's basically extended off of that. That's what I mean when it says annex. So it's not something where, Ephraim was given more land or anything crazy like that. It's just it's historical. That's it.
Hey, producer, put Dunbar 1975718 in the internet corner, please. He's not behaving correct.
Right. Listen, if you guys want to make a statement. If you guys want to make a statement and you ain't got a scripture to prove it, bye.
Right.
And then the scripture he posted has nothing to do with that.
I know. Was it Leviticus 9:10?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with that at all.
Nothing.
That talks
nothing
about the
whatsoever.
kidneys and the other stuff.
Nothing whatsoever. Goodbye. See ya.
Drop them in the box.
Thank you for the engagement. You just raised the algorithm.
Thank you for raising the algorithms.
Okay.
Gosh. Hey, so do y'all remember where I left off on the book last week? I'm trying to. I have my bookmark, but I don't know if I was gonna jump down or.
Producers, that's your job, man.
Right.
We need that bring it out sound. Bring it out.
I know. I saw.
No, we need a sword
weeks
sound.
ago, you were asking for the folder. They were all confused. He called it a folder. He just meant keep his stuff. He was like, "What folder?" He got all nervous. He said, "What do you mean? Like a Google Drive?" He just meant
like you want me to print everything out and put it in an actual
Hey.
folder. Come on, bro. I ain't that old.
Damn, I don't know what's going on. My left.
Oh, me too.
Mine keep going out too.
You know why my left ain't working? Because I don't got the ear thing.
So I don't know. There's something with the soundboard then, because my left, it's not just my left.
Oh, no,
Everybody's left is going out.
Yeah, no, mine is good.
All right, it's going out.
Yeah.
So we're having all types of stuff in. Can somebody come in and look at the soundboard?
Somebody come look at this.
Somebody come look at this.
Somebody come and look at it.
Hell no.
He said, "Hell no."
There we go. Some humor.
Wait, and then it's not even that loud now.
Yeah, we gotta have a little levity on the show sometimes, man. You know,
Goodness.
all the
gracious.
time. It's good. It's good. You gotta know how to. You waste less muscles smiling than you do being
Right.
angry.
Oh, someone said we invented the concept of zero. That's right. I think it was the Mayans that
Mayans.
invented the concept of zero.
Zebulon.
Yep.
Think about that. If you didn't have a zero in your life, how important that is today. Serious. Think about
Hey,
that.
and let me tell you something. We take that for granted because we
Right.
understand it. We don't remember when it was just first taught to us. All right, but my daughter was asking me about. No, my son was asking me about zero the other day, and so we had like a whole conversation about zero, and then I think even my daughter. So my son, it was more basic. And, we were like, so he was like, yeah, it just means nothing or whatever. So we were talking about it. And then my daughter was talking about it. She's like, yo, what's less than zero? I said,
Esau.
well,
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Think about that. We would never be able to say that they were nothing.
right.
And,
they're less than nothing.
nothing.
That's right. They're less than nothing.
and negative zero. Somebody posted
Nah,
that.
so we're having I'm having a discussion with her about negative numbers and stuff like that. I forgot that we invented that. That would have been a great opportunity.
Yeah, I
to let
forgot
her
that
know
too. Yeah.
I don't think I ever knew that.
So
It's
I
all
don't know.
praises.
So when I walk her to school tomorrow, I'm gonna try to bring up the zero conversation again, so I can say, hey, by the way, we invented the concept of zero.
That's right.
But they don't bring stuff up like that.
Hey, you would never get 100 on a test.
Right. You get one.
Was it for the zero?
Someone said Dumbo and Captain Barnabas to say, drop him in the box.
Drop
Drop 'em in the box.
Drop him in the
Drop 'em
box.
in the box.
Oh, snap. Drop him in the box.
Oh, man.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's jump into the book.
Hey, I just realized something.
What's that?
We would have never had a Dominican James Bond.
Oh gosh. Here he
Oh,
goes.
siete.
Siete. See, but only people who
I
know
know,
how Dominicans talk.
I know.
that.
Dominicans from New York.
Right, Dominicans from New York. They don't know.
Who raised you?
Oh, they're playing with their sounds again.
Yeah,
So
I know.
all
They're having
excited
fun
in there.
instead of moderating.
Instead of
moderating the comments.
Right.
I always got to freaking boot people over, and they should be seeing that stuff.
Right.
But one brother said, "Don't worry, we're gonna answer your questions." We ain't gonna answer that. That's scoffing.
Just write the questions down. I'll let you know what we're gonna answer. You
No,
know what I mean?
with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they replied to him like, "Don't worry, we'll get to you. Have patience. We'll get to you, brother."
Right.
You should already know that scripture made no sense.
Yep.
I told him to hold his peace. He was being a scoffer.
No, you just freaking knock him out because
put him in the box.
Put him in the internet
box.
corner.
Drop him in the box.
Bro.
Hey, you got it. That was you?
Put him in the box.
I thought it was a soundbite. All praises.
Come on,
man.
Oh, man. Hey, do y'all? They think I forgot the question that went unanswered. Do y'all remember what page we left off at last week?
That's why Isaac was. Yeah, he was trying to freaking evade the thing.
No, sir.
No, you weren't here.
Oh, okay, I was watching.
I'm talking to the producers.
Okay, I'll praise it.
Oh, yes, right.
Nah,
Producers.
That's my team too, though.
Oh, that's your team?
Yeah.
So why are you aligning yourself with teams that can't get right?
They figure they put enough sound bites, they won't have to answer the question.
Gosh.
I'm trying to think, man. Damn.
All right. I'm gonna have to backtrack a little bit. You
didn't put a little thing, all those little
I
things
put
you
the
got?
thing, but I don't line every paragraph that I want to read. I figured I was gonna get all through it, so I did a lot off of memory. But oh well. Let's backtrack a little bit. Let's go to page 121. All right, we were talking about the Dominican Revolution.
Gotta read it again. Did he fix it?
No, I'm gonna have to read it from here.
Okay,
it's all right. I don't know what's going on. We came in. It feels darker in here today.
It does feel dark.
Right? Didn't it feel darker?
Oh, I thought that was like a Judah joke.
What up? It's dark and cloudy with a chance of drive-by.
Wow. Damn. I guess I'm always joking like that too. So he thought a Judah joke was coming. That's terrible. Hey, Judah's not. I think Levi's darker than Judah in some cases. Right? Yeah. He said that was a Judah. See, I didn't say that. All right. I didn't say that. The soldier said that. All right. Who is from the tribe of Judah?
Semizer.
I said it is. Does feel. I meant the lights. It feels darker in here.
Right.
Okay. Goodness.
Damn, why y'all self-conscious like that, man? Love yourself, man.
Hey, I love my beautiful.
Okay, I love y'all. I love y'all.
I do gotta say, Judah been taking all types of L's though in celebrity and in the news, man. Bro, so you brought it up, so let's talk about.
Bring it out.
Oh man, listen. Did y'all see Russell Westbrook,
bro?
From Oakland? He said
he from Cali.
Hey, pull up Russell Westbrook, please. Pull up Russell Westbrook. All right, so we a little off format today. All right, everything's a little weird today. I don't know. Was the photo shoot? I don't know what.
That's what it is.
They had me doing stuff, man. Like
I don't know. That's what they said. They're gonna levitate you.
They had us playing Twister. It looked like we were playing Twister. Y'all remember getting Twister? You always had the kid with the smelly feet, cause you had to take your shoe off,
or the dirty socks,
or the fat ass that freaking. Yeah, you had to. Yeah, he was out. You're like, no, red, blue, right, leg.
Where's
right foot blue.
Pull up Russell Westbrook in the skirt, my man. Oh yeah,
man, this is crazy.
Yes. So my man Westbrook, and that ain't even the. I think there was another one too. There was another one. That ain't even the worst one. I think it was longer than that. It was another one. He had like a cream cardigan, not a white one.
Hey, when you wear something like that, you better diddy bop like you wouldn't believe, bro.
Judah, go up.
Diddy bop.
Go up.
Yeah, you better work hard. You gotta work hard.
That first one, the one that says Kwame, because Kwame Brown blasted him.
All
go
praises.
Up. Go up. You trying to hide it? Go up. The first one in the left, right there. Why you trying to hide it, bro?
That's Raphael. He from L.A. He was trying to hide it.
That is the same one. Look at that.
That's your boy, Raphael.
How come it's not on the screen? How come they only see me pointing at the picture?
That's New York too. That's New York. That's downtown.
How come it's not?
Y'all supposed to run him out of
the
here.
The soldier wanted to talk about Judah, so we're gonna talk about Judah. Hey, no. In all seriousness, fam, we know that you can equally find like Oscar De La Hoya with lipstick and some other random, Ricky Martin and
Judah,
whatever.
Listen,
we get it.
I seen some Ephraimites, boy.
But these are the role models for our kids.
Right.
These are the role models for our kids. My man is in a skirt with a tight cardigan with no shirt underneath. Look at it.
With the confident look to the side.
Right. So Lil Nas was like in a freaking one-piece bodysuit. Can you pull that up? Judah taking L's.
That dude is terrible.
Judah taking L's.
Freaking humping the demon.
We got to bring the truth.
I'm from the tribe of Levi. Just wanted to say that.
Oh, we got some on them too.
We got to bring the truth. Pull up. He was I think he was at the VMAs with like this.
Hey, Letitia Rob said, you're right. We all messed up.
Nah, she's
right.
Judah. She's Judah.
Hey, you right. We all messed up.
Without a doubt.
And because Judah's doing it, Northern Kingdom's following behind.
Right.
Hey, but but y'all know how Israel do, man. How blacks and Spanish do, bro.
Yeah. So this is how he went to the VMA. Where's the one with his hair? He had like the Rick James hair. He had the Rick James hair.
Buckwheat there. He looked like buckwheat in the car we allowing.
Man,
bro.
Hey, this is what they wearing.
See Nick Cannon?
This is what they wearing.
Even Nick Cannon.
Oh yeah, we gonna get him too. That's why I say yeah. 3 strikes, you out.
Look at this. Look at it. Hey, I thought he was pregnant. What happened, man?
Right.
No, that ain't even it. When he had that one, the brown one, but he had some long hair on it.
Oh, by the way, he was a Christian.
Lil Nas X was a Christian. That doesn't surprise me.
I mean, he said he grew up in that thing hard.
Doesn't surprise me.
And they say clothing don't mean nothing. You see his whole countenance.
Dude, how do you walk hardcore with that?
You can.
Yeah, he was wearing like the hair like that or something. There's one shot of him in that brown unitard. We was getting on Judah and the captain's group. Hey, you know why we do that, fam? Because Northern Kingdom take a lot of L's, all right? So when we can get some L's to point out,
you know why we do it? Because in the hood, that's what we did all our lives.
Right, exactly.
We had snapping corners, bro, on recess.
Yeah, it was a mullet. So it's Christina Jew said it was a mullet wig. It was a mullet wig. He looked like Rick James.
Rick James, yeah.
He had the Rick James wig. Wow. And show Nick Cannon, and now he trying to say it wasn't him, but then there's a video of him. It's the same tattoo.
Hey, wow. Rick James wore crazy stuff too now.
Prince and Michael.
Oh yeah, y'all had them guys too.
He did. You put Nick Cannon at the VMAs. I said, man, they man, let me tell you, it's a shame the way he showed up over there because he was actually speaking some knowledge, and they got him good, bro. I don't know. They took him in a room and brainwashed him or something, man. They took him in a room. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me see.
Crazy.
Oh, okay. Wait. Let me post this. I think this is. Yes, I think this is it.
From the Jew delegation, Westbrook has been moved to action.
The Judah delegation? Westbrook is not Naphtali.
Hell no. Hold on.
Yeah, we disowning him.
I'll post this on the show. Damn, why else Daniel trying to listen? We're not talking about Issachar right now. We talking about Judah. He posted the Issachar dude that put the
deflection.
Gold links in his head.
That's deflection.
That's petty, bro.
Cap, is that the Lil Nas X you're looking for? The middle one?
I think I just posted it onto the Power Hour thing.
Damn.
He is looking Rick
Hey, you right. God help us. I know we saying it in jest
right now.
He
look like sunshine with chocolate up there, bro. Yeah. Right? Sunshine with chocolate. I believe the children are our future.
No, you can't open it. Damn, Mariah has sent it to me. But you
Look
can show
at this.
that middle one.
Look at this.
No. We'll bring him in after we show Nick
Okay.
Cannon. We'll bring him in.
Bring it out.
So look at him with the freaking. How come I gotta look up? This is so terrible. I gotta look up.
Yeah, he looked like when Dave Chappelle was doing Rick James. Yeah. I mean Prince. When he was doing
Hey,
Prince.
and I don't know what this article's talking about.
Pancakes.
But this is a mockery. See. That all this is an extension of that feminist movement. Get me that where it says a woman will compass a man. Because I had brought that out when Nick Cannon and Charlemagne were freaking on the show talking about men never ran anything.
Yo, how you go from saying that we're the Jews, God's chosen,
sexual chocolate, sexual chocolate.
Jeremiah 31:22.
Read that real quick. Right.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth.
Hey, so you know why he calls her a backsliding daughter? Because the daughters of Israel were never supposed to take part in these heathen customs, this feminist agenda, this LGBTQ and all of that. That's backsliding, because to backslide means you're going away from something that you should be going towards. So you're backsliding away from these customs of the heathen that we should not follow, that we should not envy the oppressor in these things. But it's gotten so bad that because of their backsliding, keep reading.
A woman shall compass a man.
That a woman shall compass a man. And you got sisters that'll bring that scripture out sometimes when they want to talk about being a prophetess. I'm a prophetess because there were prophetesses in the Bible.
Hell is this?
Right? Listen, those were specific instances where the Most High used women for something specifically. All right?
Rarely.
All through the Bible, there's so much that talks about the flock of his pasture are men, that men will be saved, that he's a man of war. All right? It's not dealing with that. Those specific instances where there were prophetesses, all right? And it was allowed at that time. So when it says a woman have compassed a man, it's talking about this feminist stuff and this feminist agenda, because it's overcoming even the men that you got, the Little Nas X's, you got the Russell Westbrooks,
you got basketball players.
Rich Harden was in it. All the brothers that played in Oklahoma, all right, they were freaking.
Oh, James Harden did do that.
That's why Durant left. I saw a meme. They said that's why Durant left Oklahoma. He saw this ish, and he said, "I'm getting out of here." Read that verse from the top again.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth, A woman shall compass a man.
That new thing is feminism. That new thing is feminism. You know how that new thing is in a woman being a ruler over the man? Because there was a queen, Sheba, right? There were queens that ruled already. So that's not a new thing. What was not, but even then, they had respect unto men. Because did she not go to Solomon and was in awe of him as a man of renown and known for his wisdom and wealth, right? That's going into this whole feminist agenda that you see today. That's a new thing. Women wearing pants, all of that. And it started as something as simple as that. We can work in the factories too. We can do that. And now it's evolved and it's become so cancerous that it's compassed the men. Feminism has compassed the men that you see this atrocity here.
Hey, you know what's crazy, man? That image of we can do this, sister. That's an Edomite.
Yep.
That's an Edomite on there. They weren't doing it for you.
Yep.
Black woman, Hispanic woman, Native American woman, they weren't doing that for you. They were doing that for their liberation.
Yep.
Right.
Throw up the Nick Cannon one. You got the Nick Cannon one? He was there at the VMAs in costume.
Can I say something, Cap?
Go ahead.
It also proves that I want to keep emphasizing that it's a whole spirit behind the clothing, because you just said that the sisters putting on pants led to this right now where we're at with the women. So brothers doing now with the dresses is about to lead to something crazy.
Yeah, and that's why they tell you give the water no passage in dealing in. That's specifically talking about dealing with the wife, but in general, right? What's the one in is it in Ezekiel where it says prophesy against?
Yeah.
Get that real quick too. That's why the Most High had to give a special shout out to prophesy against the sisters. Special shout out to prophesy against the sisters. Where's the Nick Cannon pick? Put it up. Put it up.
Oh, no.
I can't see it.
This is freaking crazy, bro, man.
Look.
Got a bulletproof vest on.
That's feminine as hell too. He ain't trying to rep that he a girl, but that's hip hop now.
Right.
That's what it look like. That's what it do. So he's trying to say that's not him. He even gave the name of who this persona is.
I got you.
Oh, I got it. I don't know if it's Ezekiel 10 or Ezekiel 3. I could be way the hell off.
It's Ezekiel for sure.
It is Ezekiel.
You talk about which one?
Prophesy against the daughters. 13. I had it all the way around. 10 plus 3 is 13, though.
Hey, Cap.
Yes.
Real
13
quick,
and 17.
And I just noticed he's faking this whole thing. He thinks he's like on Facebook Live or taking picture. He just has his pictures. He's faking this because he's not even recording.
How do you know that?
Right.
His iPhone right here.
Right.
Okay.
He's faking.
Right. And he gonna try to tell you, like, wow, he gonna try to flip it because of the backlash, and he gonna be like, I was just trying to show you what it's like out there now.
Show me something deep.
But nah, we got you on tape with Charlemagne talking about men never ran anything, all right?
Wearing pink. I don't want to hear it was for breast cancer.
Yes, that's Nick Cannon in a glittering vest, all jacked up.
What they call him, I can't say that.
Let's get this, Ezekiel 13 and 17.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 13 and verse 17. Likewise, thou son of man, set thy face against the daughters of thy people.
Because in these last days, that feminism, which started with something as simple as pants, has evolved into this, has evolved into it compassing even the men. The feminist movement has compassed even the men. That men now want to be feminine this way. Men now want to be not even men anymore.
Right.
In that which is unseemly, which is against nature, like you read in Romans. So it says, set thy face against the daughter of thy people, because they're backsliding. So we have to set our face against them. Come on.
Which prophesy out of their own heart, and prophesy thou against them.
So listen. The officer got it. He said, wow, something as simple as pants has evolved in the process of time into what you see today. Pants on a woman. Working in the factory, I can do what you can do, right? Like Cap was saying, there's that graphic of the women's lib movement. She's wearing she's wearing the bandana and flexing with a little bicep. And then sisters are like, man, why are you always getting on the sisters? Why are you so mad? Because something as simple as that has evolved 60, 70 years later into what you see today.
Right.
So you cannot give the water passage for any of these things. Because this place, like I started on Monday Night Law, like I'm going to do the second part next time I teach on Monday night, polluted. This place is polluted. right? The land will defile you. It tells you that. Let's get that in Leviticus 18. That's why I started off joking about it, but we're gonna get back. We gotta finish the DR thing. After this, I'm gonna jump on it unless Cap wants to say something.
Gotta get those current events.
Right. But see that was the spirit. You saying that I was gonna do a Judah joke. Now we're bringing out some scriptures on this stuff. Right? Leviticus 18 and 24. Start at 24.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 24.
Let's not lose the point. We're talking about how the feminist movement, right? You saw it prophesied in the Bible. It says a woman will compass a man, okay? We're talking about how in Ezekiel 13 and 17, it said that we have to set our face against the daughters of our people, okay? And we know it's all Israel we got it because we got to get on these men rolling into this stuff. But we've always prophesied to the men. But we have to get on the sisters and stay on the sisters because the scripture told us that they'd be backsliding. And because of that backsliding, you would come up with this woman compassing a man. And it's not talking about women CEOs and women rulers and all of that stuff. It's dealing with these effeminate things polluting even the men. Right. Polluting even the men. And it's pollution for the sisters too because it's that which is against nature. God made the woman a very specific way to be a helpmeet, right? But read what the Most High said. This is right after we're coming out of Egypt. And it's the same thing because we are coming out of Egypt in our repentance, in our minds, in our spirits, all right? Because we were raised in this world with these ideals. Some of us might actually be more okay with that because it's that polluted. Pollution, you can't see it sometimes, you can't feel it, but it'll get you, right? It'll get you. Go ahead, read this.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 24. Read out. Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things.
Meaning what? He had just read a bunch of laws to them after they came out of Egypt. Specifically, he was dealing here with sexual immorality. But this applies to all these laws. He said, don't defile yourselves. Defile is another way to say polluted. Don't pollute yourself with any of these things. Come on.
For in all these, the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you.
The nations are defiled, which I cast out before you. Because in all these things, they're defiled. They're polluted. So if all these nations are the predominant thing, they're the ones that set the status quos and all of that. That's why Micah tells you, arise and depart. This is not your rest because it is polluted and it will destroy you with a sword destruction. Read on.
Verse 25. And the land is defiled.
And not just those nations, but the land. Who is the earth given into? The hands of the wicked. That's the other nations. So it says the land is defiled. It's polluted. Her womb is polluted. It's polluted. Come on.
Therefore, I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it.
That's why everything's out of course in the earth. He visits their own sin on it. Sin out, sin in. Come on.
And the land itself vomiteth out her inhabitants.
And it meaning more of this filth, more of this abomination is vomited out. You said, what did I say? I said, in the last 15 years, there's been more traction and more ground gain for so-called gay rights and transgender rights than there have in 200 years since we've been supposedly freed from slavery.
Look it out.
More progress and more civil rights have been granted in the last 15 years to these abominable things than to our people after supposedly being freed from slavery. Come on, read.
Verse 26. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments.
We are the way you combat this defiling, the way you combat this pollution is for us to keep those statutes and commandments. This is why we don't give the water passage, sisters. Come on.
And shall not commit any of these abominations.
And we are not supposed to do those abominable things. Come on.
Neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you.
Right, meaning, because at this time we had the mixed multitude that came out with us, right? So he says, even them that are in your servitude in here, they got to follow my law, statutes, and commandments too. Why? Because that's how it's going to be in the kingdom when we rule in the whole earth and universe too. Come on.
For all these abominations have the men of the land done.
He says, all the men of the land, meaning all those other nations, the heathen, they have done them all. Come on.
Which were before you. And the land is defiled.
And the land is defiled, meaning we saw it. It was before us. Come on.
That the land spew not you out also when ye defile it, as it spewed out the nations that were before you.
Meaning, this isn't dealing with throwing them away is basically saying that you become overcome and you become like them. And now we're spewing out the Russell Westbrooks, the little Nas X's, the Nick Cannons, and anybody else who's on this freaking feminine
wave.
BS, this wave that's going through. Come on.
Verse 28. Verse 29. For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even the souls that commit them shall be cut off from among their people.
Why? Why? Because you won't be able to come back from it. It's pollution. You won't be able to pull yourself out of it. So it's telling you don't even step into it because it's going to spew it out. It's going to vomit up more abominations. Come on.
Therefore shall you keep mine ordinance, that you commit not any of these abominations.
That you commit not, read it right.
That you commit not any one of these abominable customs.
See what he called them? He called them abominable customs. So all these things that you see out there, they're customs, meaning you don't have to do them because they're laws. That's the zeitgeist. That's the cult of personality of the times to be in the mix of this stuff. That's the customs of these days. Come on.
Which were committed before you, and that ye defile not yourselves therein. I am the Lord your God.
And he emphasizes so much that they were committed before you because he knows that our eyes would go to lust after these things. Whether or not meaning some of us even with whatever ideals we have, because it spews out more and more, it becomes acceptable. It's like that's more normal than what is not. Because I grew up in a time where it was very abnormal what you see today. But now that's the norm. And it's in everything. In subtle ways. They're putting it in cartoons and children's things, cereal boxes, advertisements.
Everything.
Used to see a cereal commercial, and it was the mom, the dad, and the kids getting ready for breakfast. I haven't seen one yet, but you're gonna see dad and the kids and having freaking checks.
Right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't even want to buy Fruity Pebbles no more. None of that stuff.
they do that in television though. They slowly working it in.
Right.
Fruit Loops.
Right.
None of that stuff.
Right. So this is the madness that we're dealing with nowadays. This is the madness that we're dealing with. You got something, Cap?
Nah, just don't want to buy that thing no more. May put spirits on people.
Fruity Pebbles is good though.
It is good, bro.
Fruity Pebbles are delicious.
That's his next sponsorship. Lil Nas X, Fruity Pebbles.
He gonna be on the box.
Right. I'll get the bootleg version.
Right.
And with the quickness,
The
sugar.
Colored flakes.
Colored flakes. Right. You know the ones that come like in the little bag, right? And they harder. They don't get as soft in the milk. You know, it's different than we used to call it no frills when we grew up. It's a whole aisle. I don't know if this was everywhere.
It was a white box.
It was the white aisle. And everything, and it was called the no frills aisle.
Yeah, no frills aisle.
And everything else that was name brand, they had versions of it, but it was just white with black lettering all through the aisle. So
generic brand,
right? So like cornflakes or whatever. So
just
like
flakes.
so instead of brand, but so like I don't know. So if it for example, let's say it was YooHoo's like a brand that's trademarked. It would say chocolate milk drink. No frills. You know what I'm saying?
It would say, just get it.
Just get it.
It's cheap.
Hey, Captain.
Yeah.
You ever notice, too, how the old cartoons, men were men back then? Like, they actually used to show them smoking, drinking. Like, of course, that goes against what we believe, but they actually showed them in a masculine sense.
In a masculine sense.
Hey, but I'm going to tell you something. Even back then, Bugs Bunny would dress up like a girl and kiss Elmer Fudd on the lips. I remember that? They would sneak that thing in, man, and I couldn't think. When you're a kid, you couldn't think about it. Like, what the hell is that?
Yep.
But they were sticking it in even back then with Looney Tunes, bro.
Yep.
Right. Made us laugh at it.
Yep. They had the no frills toilet paper. It was everything. They had no frills everything.
It literally said no frills.
Horrible.
Hey, but I'll tell you what. You were poorer than poor people if you bought no frills.
Oh yeah.
Like you might buy some items no frills to balance it out, but it was horrible. Well, it was horrible. Like no frills was
Hey, you
terrible.
get like 10-pound box of flakes for like $1.
Wow.
10 pounds, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, man. No frills was bad.
Somebody
no frills
came to
bad.
school with the no
I'll
frills.
tell you what was good.
Pathmark had that.
Pathmark. And Associated right next to the post office across the street on Gale. I'll tell you what was good. And I don't know if it's just the way I remembered it as a kid.
Bring it out, Cap.
Bro, that cheese block that we used to get in the lobby of the projects, the welfare cheese, the government cheese. Bro, I have never tasted a cheese like that ever again in my life.
You never will.
I agree 100%.
Bro,
you never will.
I don't know if they
you
put
needed an
something,
axe to cut it.
I don't know if they put something in there to sterilize you. I don't know what.
It was Gouda.
Bro,
I don't know. Everybody in the projects had a lot of kids. So
bro, it was a big block.
Oh,
it came
big?
in a box, and then it was and it was just a log, and then it was
Hey,
plastic wrap.
that thing, if it was as heavy as a gold bullion,
Bro.
That thing was.
But that cheese was delicious.
And the powder milk.
It
Bro,
melts
the
so
powder
good.
milk.
That cheese melts really good.
The powdered milk, I know. So, hey, the powdered milk was so bad you had to like throw some sugar, some cinnamon in it. You know what I'm saying? A little vanilla extract.
But
try to
that
make
cheese,
thing
bro.
better.
Hey, you make some cheese sandwiches, bro. And back in the day when we didn't know any better with the bologna,
but now
Oscar Mayer bologna.
But now with the bread they gave you. Because that bread was terrible.
Yeah, it would rip apart.
Bro, you try to put anything. You try to put mayo on it, it start tearing apart. What's softer than mayo? You know what I'm saying? And the bread would shred apart. Oh, my goodness. Yo, but that government cheese, I'm craving that thing now.
Yeah.
See, I'm hungry. That cheese is good, bro. That cheese. Bro, I have not tasted cheese like that ever in my life again, bro.
Yeah, that was the best grilled cheese. That's true,
man.
Sister Toya. That was that was.
Hell to the yeah.
Yeah, with the Wonder Bread.
Yep.
The real Wonder Bread.
Yep.
Hey, Cap.
Yeah.
Mariah sent me a Quaker Oats commercial with two fathers.
Oh, you got to show it after what we were just talking about.
Yeah, I hate Oscar Mayer too, man. I was forced to eat that stuff.
It's on the screen.
Damn, so he found it. Damn, I said I hadn't seen it yet. That's because I don't watch commercials. I'm all streaming now. So
Jabari, the peanut butter was good too. The peanut butter was really good.
Yeah. Once you got the oil mixed in, because it was dry as hell with the oil on the top, so you had to stir that oil in. Right. That was like a rich peanut. Like they must have filled that thing with sugar, bro. That peanut butter was good as hell.
That's why we were freaking jumping all over the walls doing craziness, bro.
Yeah, man. That's when we got the free one. When we couldn't, we used to do Peter Pan peanut butter. It's the Peanuttiest. That was the commercial.
Hey, you never asked
Peter
your mom.
Pan peanut butter's the Peanuttiest.
You never asked your mom for the extra crunchy. That thing was too much money, bro. You had to get the dry ass,
smooth one.
Creamy.
Creamy. What do you mean one crunchy? I throw some my own peanuts in there.
Now I want some grilled cheese, man. Everybody talking about grilled cheese.
And you had it, and you could never cut it real thin because it was so hard. It was thick.
Yep.
It was like this big, bro.
You be there like this.
Yeah. You needed an axe for that thing, bro. You needed a fella.
You needed a fella to chop the cheese down, bro.
And
bro,
that
was
block of bologna with the red wrapper.
Yeah, man. Right. And sometimes you would cook it and forget the little red wrap around. You got to take the thing out when you eat it.
Yeah, because it never cooked. It never cooked, bro.
You cut it, and you got the little thing. You got to peel that.
Yeah, it never cooked, but it be in your tooth and stuff.
It did never cook.
Hey, I tell you though, there's some foods from my childhood that I still remember with nostalgia, and I'll eat. I tell you, man, bologna ain't one of them, bro.
Oh yeah,
because they got beef bologna now.
I used to be killing bologna.
Nah, hell no, bro. It turns my stomach, bro. Bologna's like a flat hot dog.
I used to warm it up and I cut
exactly what it is, man.
It's like you took a hot dog and rolled it out. You know, like when you roll dough flat. Yeah. I cannot stand bologna. You better never serve me no bologna. If I go to your camp, they've served me bologna one time, bro. Can you believe I went to visit a school one time? They served me a bologna sandwich.
That's prison stuff right there, bro. That's you get the warm milk with the bologna sandwich, bro.
You ain't better never serve me no damn bologna if I visit your school. I'm gonna talk about you. I'm gonna blast you.
How do you even like think that's okay? That's not charity at all. How you get somebody a damn bologna sandwich, man? In these days,
it was years ago.
Did they at least had a government cheese on it?
You can't get the government
you can't get that cheese no more.
Yeah.
Man.
Bologna sandwich with a malta.
Yo. Why don't we try to replicate the cheese and call it government cheese? Like that'll be the name brand.
Government cheese?
Yeah, and we sell it in all the hoods. Bro, like let's try to we'll do taste tests. We'll try to get the one that tastes the closest to it. Bro, I think that could be a thing, bro.
Yeah. Eric down this.
Like we'll put it in all the food cities out here, and that thing will sell, bro. Like you know what I'm serious. We call it government cheese.
Hey, this lost history right here, bro.
We call it government cheese. Hey, someone said the total cereal with no red. That was the no frills. It was the no frills raisin cereal, but it was like all the raisins were at the bottom. It wasn't even that much.
It wasn't even total. You had to add it up yourself.
I had to catch that one.
Oh man. there. Someone said fried bologna with the bubble in the middle.
With the bubble in the middle.
I was killing it.
Then the smell, bro. Oh, dude.
And then I think I was a chef. I cut them in little triangles.
Damn, bro.
You try to hook that thing up. Hey, nah, I tell you, to come up for us was spam, though, man. I've said it before when I've taught classes, man. Yo, our mom, she would fricassee it, saute it. You remember bubblegum shrimp? Where he said there's all the ways you could do shrimp. That was my mom's with. That was our mother with.
Hey, she should have wrote a cookbook on that thing, bro.
He said, there's all kinds of ways you can make spam. You can fry it, you can stew it, you can steam it, you can cut it raw.
You can have spam con habichuelas.
You can have spam con habichuelas.
Hey, she put it in
spam con huevo frito.
Hey, she put the spam in there like it's like tocino or something.
Spam con queso y pan tostado.
Spam burgers.
Spam burger, spam meatloaf.
I bet it all tastes good though, huh?
She'll cut a little diagram, make it look like a chicken drumstick, spam chicken drumstick.
Well, we eating shapes. We eating frickin' shapes.
I tell you,
it was fire.
Hey, I knew it was next level. She used to have this green pot. It was, and that was unusual back then because pots didn't really have colors back in the day. So you're talking about the 80s, right?
Okay.
So early 80s. She used to have this green pot, and it was always in that pot that she made the spam guisao, right? Which is like
that
spam,
green. It was heavy as hell too.
It's a heavy
and
ass.
When you got hit with it, it hurt.
Yeah, you know how they talk about like double walled insulation.
Yeah.
That thing was heavy as hell.
And she never missed.
Right.
And it had that's the one with the glass top.
Yes.
It had the hard.
So the green pot doubled as a disciplinary
with the handle
tool.
that was loose because you never it always got the loose handle on the pot.
But one day I was smelling something delicious. I lifted up that glass container, and I said, "Oh, I saw vegetables. I saw calabaza because like Ephraim, they'll cook the beans sometimes with like little pieces of pumpkin in it.
Yeah,
not like the ripe pumpkin. It's like the
but that's what's up.
Right. They'll throw little pumpkin in it. Well, she had beans in there, like all the little like vianda, like the root vegetables and stuff in it. And it was spam cubed up like just perfectly, and it was just like, and it smelled delicious, bro.
With corn, remember she put
corn.
The corn.
She had corn
with
in
the
there.
White rice.
Right. You throw some green, like she just throw whatever the hell in there with the spam, and then you would take some of it. It was like a goulash, I guess. I didn't know what goulash was then. I don't know what the hell a goulash was.
And then she would put it nice, like she would put like a design on top.
Okay.
Right,
yeah.
like in a
plate
circle.
Yes. So you would have the thing of rice, right? And then she would take that thing and decorate the hell out of that thing of rice, man.
Hey, psychologically, we thought we were eating like some good stuff.
I know. Until we grew up, we realized what the hell we was chomping on. You know.
That's all praises though.
Hey, and let me tell you, spam with eggs and toast in the morning. That thing was delicious, bro.
Y'all had a breakfast, dinner, or breakfast, lunch?
Yeah. Nah, my favorite. To this day, every now and then I get a craving for it. I rock with it. Boiled potatoes, hard-boiled egg, salt, pepper.
Yeah, that's what's
and
up.
then you take Goya olive oil.
Yeah,
gotta
the
be Goya.
Gotta be the Goya. Yeah.
And you slather that thing with Goya olive oil, but because that's how you feed the calories to get you full on the cheap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, let me
Mad
tell you,
carbs.
that thing is delicious, bro. But that's balanced though, bro. That's why we was able to like freaking take the ass beatings we got, be out all day, just you know what I'm
summer,
saying?
man.
Right.
You get the whistle, bro.
Right. Oh,
you
and
don't come.
And then the community center had the little lunch. Damn, I'm going all the way back. We talk about food like crazy, yo. Remember the little lunches they would give you in the
summer
community
lunch.
center? The
summer lunch, bro.
It had the
with
little
the box.
cellophane on it. And guess what it was most of the time? A freaking bologna sandwich.
Bologna sandwich with an apple, bro, and a little apple juice and that little thing, bro.
Some crackers occasionally.
Oh, man.
Now, on Fridays they gave you the good. They gave you like a brownie.
Okay.
Hey, you be running for that summer lunch, bro. When you could be walking home with the white box with the Scotch tape on it.
Hey, Aviel posted a thing. I'm gonna read this later. Here's what happened to government cheese. He said that cheese was the right level of salty. It sure was. Hey, show this Quaker commercial. Let's get back on topic, man. Let's get back on topic. We were talking about the woman could pass a man, right? The feminist movement. The feminist movement has evolved to things like this. I said I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen a commercial yet, Bob. But at Mariah, bro, he be finding stuff. And Mariah just posted it up. Go ahead, play it.
Welcome to the Quaker Breakfast Table. Here, there's a secret.
Oh boy, look at this. Boy, you can't. Oh.
Welcome to the Quaker Breakfast Table. Here.
Look at this. Look at this.
That's not a father and son in your naivety, all right?
Nah, that's a pedophile. Cause that kid, he must be Ephraim, but he got a beard. He's 10.
Hey, there's a couple at the gym that's like this, bro. They
wait, hold on a second.
ain't friends.
Hold on a second. They work out like next to you.
They work not next to me, far away from me. You know the gym is huge. Don't try to do that to me.
Hey, you give me a spot.
Hey,
you give me a spot, young
but
man.
Yo, bro, I just looked at this and I thought of it, bro, because I look at them and I'm like, yo, they gotta be two fags. I'm like, they got part of my. I'm gonna get cut off.
I got you. I got
they gotta be two fags.
You mean they smoke cigarettes? A fag.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, because the younger one, he's like 20, 30 years younger than the Edomite guy, right?
Yeah.
And he's Northern Kingdom looking, and then the other one definitely looking Edomite, right?
Yeah.
And they just working out, and I think they broke up because the old white guy's been there.
Nah, you know what it is, bro, man. That's how they get that disposable income, bro. They be hooking up with
That's
them rich
exactly
old
what-
Edomites,
that's exactly
bro.
what I was saying.
That's why they
That's
be
exactly what
styling
I
and
was
everything
saying.
like that,
Yep.
bro. And they ain't got no kids. They ain't got no child support. None of that stuff, bro.
Wow.
They're good.
Jabari said, "Wow, they pumping each other."
You want some breakfast?
Hey, a barber from the Bay, he told me, he gave a word. There's like they can't what is it, mark you for? He said you call them Sweetwaters or Sweetwater.
Sweetwaters?
Yeah.
So that's gonna be the new term, Sweetwaters.
Sweetwater.
Sweetwaters. Oh goodness. All right. Let's go all the way back on topic. We got to read about.
Yeah, how do we go back on that one, huh?
We spent damn near an hour on all types of stuff. Goodness. Hey, everybody was entertained though. We got new people saying, "Damn, I'm gonna tune in every week."
I'm gonna tune in every week. They're funny. Hey, they're cool Israelites.
Talking about the government cheese.
Hey, don't get it twisted, man. We will get in your ass, man. Scripturally.
Facts.
Whoa! Hold up.
Somebody got.
Hey,
Pause.
Hey, cut
Pause,
that.
pause.
Hey, hey.
Somebody gonna clip that out
Whoa.
and just say that part.
Whoa. The hell, Isaac? Why you saying that thing, B?
It's turning real street. Yo, B, what's up with you, son?
Whoa.
See, polluted.
Damn.
See how it jumped
You can't even say regular
You
stuff.
can't even say regular stuff.
Damn,
stuff.
man.
He said, "Damn."
There'll be no more.
Lasha said, "You can't go back."
Oh man.
They said I
meant it in a tough way. Damn, I can't fix it. Some of them are diesel.
Nah, you're better off just. You're better off just letting it ride, bro.
Right.
No,
Just letting
it ride. Whoa, what the hell's wrong with you?
Damn. He's trying to flip it. Trying to flip it.
All right, get back in spirit, bro.
Let's get back in the spirit,
Rough ride over here.
Goodness. Wow. Nah, man, because somebody, you're right. We ain't thinking of it that way, but somebody else will they'll take that one clip and be like, "Look at that captain, man."
He wasn't ready.
To the pure, all things are pure.
That's right.
Right.
All right.
All praises. That's a great script. To the pure, all things are pure. So we don't really think about it that way. We don't need the pause and none of that.
Hey, you know what, man?
Just the timing was a little crazy on that.
Hey, all
one.
praises, right? This captivity, right, man? We just having some fun.
Right.
We're having some fun.
Like I said, it's a little weird the way we started the show. Nothing works. It's just
Yeah, exactly. He's here. I don't know what the hell he. I don't know how he showed up.
I don't know how this guy's
He
here.
freaking Gazoo. Remember how Gazoo? He always show up next to you. I'll shoot you with my space module. He just popped out of nowhere. I don't even know where this brother came from, bro.
Right. It's
the hell's this?
freaking dark in here.
Who that laughing over there?
It's a little lighter on that side of the room, though.
Hell no.
It's the light side of the show.
Oh man.
Dark humor over here.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
all right. See, this is where we need a commercial break to reset.
Right.
Wow.
Hey,
We had one.
That was
Goats.
That would be dope.
So don't forget the Booster Club. Right, Israel? You see it up on the screen, IUIC.fundraising at IsraelUnite.org, all right? Let's fund these missions, all right? Hey, I think we're I know with COVID it's been difficult, but we have some international ones coming up. I believe some of the prophets, I don't want to give away details just because, there's a lot of people, that hate us watching. But we got some trips coming up again where we're able to. The prophets are going to start going back out to travel. So make sure you support the Booster Club. IUIC that fundraising at IsraelUnite.org. And again, additionally, it's not just for the travel. Those funds will support things like radio shows and television shows in these countries, so on and so forth. All right. So make sure you're checking all that out. All right.
That's right.
Let's go back to the book. All right. Page 121. We're dealing with Harvest of Empire. All right. We had some fun. All right. History of Latinos in America. We watched a documentary piece of it last week. We went over some history with the Dominican Republic. So I got just a few more pages in the book, and then we can go into some of the questions that might have been asked. So, Israel, if you got questions that you would like us to maybe address, I'm not saying we have all the answers, right? But we may have an answer for you, all right? Go ahead and ask those questions in the chats. Producers are looking at them. They'll let us know some of the questions, and we'll let you know if we answering them or not.
And don't forget, you can call in.
Hey, you can also call in. That's right. 516-531-9797. 516-531-9797. All right. So let's go to page 121 in the book. And since I can't see my monitor, let me know when you have it up. Okay. So I'm going to go to that last paragraph. I'm going to recap from there as I jump forward. So we were talking about the dynamics of their immigration. We were showing how it's little known that America invaded and occupied the Dominican Republic twice. Again, just multiple examples. Once from when we started with Puerto Rico, we went to Guatemala. We dealt with Cuba very heavily. All right. Next time we're gonna talk about Lord's will Nicaragua. All right. Oof. And that one's heavy. That one I gotta bring a lot of stuff out because you got the Sandinistas. Yep. You got the Somosas. And the documentary will tell you the Somosas were almost. He says they were, if not as bad as Trujillo, they were trying to be worse than him. And we know that Trujillo, they say, out of all these
dictators,
I want to say United States dictators, these American dictators that were trained and set up by them, he was by far the worst, right? With the atrocities that he committed. And it's interesting because even in that, talking about spewing out abominations, there's still a lot of people in DR to this day that they value some of his ideals. They'll still.
This is true, especially some of the people that were former military.
Right, right. Even one of the older guys that was with us for a little while, he had people in his circle that he had us on a radio show out there for a little while. He had people in his circle that were very pro, like Trujillo and those type of guys. Like, I remember he had like a little card with them and stuff like that. And we were like, damn, why does he have Trujillo? From what we read, Trujillo was terrible. But some people, believed in his ideals and things like that. Listen, these guys don't. There's always a portion of the people that support him. Like, Hitler didn't come to power in isolation.
Based off himself.
Right. You know what I'm saying? There were a lot of people that, had the same views as him. He just enabled them to be able to bring them out and display them.
And typically what happens with a lot of these leaders, they're very charismatic. So they win you over by their speech.
Right. Yeah, and that's a big part of it, too. It's funny that you say that, too, because this isn't off topic. It'll seem off topic. It's almost cult-like. I was watching Mad Max Fury Road again. I had seen it in the theaters, and I saw it the second time. And now I was analyzing it a little different, and I was like, man, I said, this is the way he had his war boys, and he had them so indoctrinated that they were willing to die for this guy. And there's one scene where So if any of you've seen it, if you haven't, it's actually a pretty good action movie. It's a little weird when you watch the scenes. It's a little what you're not used to, especially if you're not familiar with the Mad Max series. But it's probably the whole movie is just like a chase scene, but it's like the most action-packed chase scene that you'll see. And anyway, so there's one moment where he sprays the guy because they would spray them with the chrome. They were like, yeah, we're going to die shiny and chrome and go into Valhalla. And he told them, yeah, if you get this girl back from me or whatever, he was like, I'll carry you to Valhalla myself. And the dude was super motivated because his charismatic leader, Morton Joe, was like, yeah, they felt like this way about him and stuff. So so you have these rulers that are like that and people are there. So we were talking about Trujillo, so on and so forth. And the theme through all of this, and you'll see again as we continue through going through Central, South America, and the Caribbean, many of these guys were set up and trained by the United States. They were their guys until they weren't. So, meaning once they got tired of them, they supported the other side.
We got our use out
and it's like a vicious cycle that they did. They would even put out hits on you, which is why they didn't like Castro, because they would have supported Castro if Castro would have rolled with them. But Castro didn't want to sell the people out, right? So. Anyway, so it says most Americans still recall exactly what they were doing the day they heard the news John Kennedy had been shot. So it is with Dominicans who recall every detail of the afternoon of April 24th, 1965. The day the Dominican Revolution began. Estela Vasquez was sitting in her grandmother's house listening to the radio show of velvet-voiced commentator Francisco Peña Gomez. Every Saturday, Peña Gomez, the youth leader of Juan Bosch's Dominican Revolutionary Party, would host a weekly show. It was called Tribuna Democrática, Democratic Tribune, and it was especially popular among poor, darker-skinned Dominicans who all knew that Peña Gomez was one of the few blacks to hold a prominent political post in the country. So, last week we had spoke about the whole color thing, and, we brought out scriptures where people, we get enemies on the show, scoffers out there, oh, look, you guys aren't, you're too light-skinned or whatever, right? But going into what it says in Hosea 7 and 8, it's a cake not turn, all right? We also brought out a speckled bird, right? And we showed how the Most High, even with all that mixing, made sure that his remnant, whose spirit bears witness with the Bible, will repent and will keep these commandments. And they're going to look all different shades. They're going to look all different ways. So Peña Gomez was one of those, right? And it was inspiring them to see that.
Right.
We talk about that image of Christ. It's not something to pray to, bow down to like we did in Christianity. We're not saying, our fathers to it and Hail Marys and things like that. But it's empowering to see that. Look at how the kids, man, they seen the Avengers and they want to be Spider-Man and Tony Stark and the Hulk. So it's important for them to see our people so that they can do that. Because in their isolation, they'll look past that. And they'll want to that sets up idolization of the enemy, idolization of the heathen.
Yep. Right. Yep.
So it's important that you see this stuff. They're talking about doing a different Superman movie, and they want to cast Superman to be black. Everybody's up in arms about it.
Yeah, they hot.
They want to do the Green Lantern, and they want to do Jon Stewart first, which is the black one, and everybody's mad. No, you got to do Hal Jordan. They did Hal Jordan, and
it was trash.
Hey, they were mad when Annie was black.
Right. Yeah, they did Annie black, even though it was kind of whack.
They made it that way. They did that on purpose. Because it would have had soul. Would have been like the Wiz.
They try to change it too much. I think they just should have took the same thing.
Yeah.
And just salt it up
like they did with the Wiz.
I didn't watch it.
Salt it up.
Remember that?
Yeah, the Wiz was dope.
The Wiz was dope. They took Dorothy to a whole different level on that thing, man. They had Nipsey Russell on that thing.
Yep.
The real Nipsey Russell, not Nipsey Hussle. Not Nipsey Hussle.
Hey, I know everybody got confused right now for a second.
That's why I had to say it. I know it. And then it had Michael Jackson, Anna Ross. Yep. I mean, it was It was good. Yep.
Yeah. So it's important that our people see that stuff. So they're telling you here, this guy on the radio, and this was on the radio, but they knew he was black. They knew he held a prominent political post. They were into that. All right. I'm going to jump down because I think we did read some of the other stuff where they started with the rebellion. Let me jump. Remember, we were talking about how they bombed them with the planes.
Hey, while you're getting that, Santo Indian likes Quanto. Hey, it's interesting that you say that. He says, this is the first time I've learned about Dominican my entire life. Because that's not their names.
Yeah.
They're true biblical names, right? I mean, when you really sit down and think about it, man, that's all part of the divide and conquer. All right, you don't mention that. There's a lot of people that didn't know Puerto Rico even existed.
Right.
I mean, so that's by design, brother, man. You know what I'm saying, man? So just goes to show you that's part of the crafty counsel from Psalms 83.
Get Deuteronomy 28:37 because that's a lot of times we go over this and we'll talk about just the bywords, but just being called outside our name. That's exactly what Cap was bringing out. Let's bring that out.
37.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all the nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
So a lot of times we would just bring that out on the basis level, right, and say they call us all the derogatory terms that they have for us, right? But when it says a byword, it means being outside of what you really are. So when they call us Dominicans, when they call us Puerto Ricans, when they call us black, African American, whatever it is, right? That's colloquially known today as the races. That's part of them keeping us hidden, right? That's them hidden ones. That's so it's like a multi-pronged effect. It was like, listen, just if you call them something long enough, most people are gonna forget what they were really called, and that's gonna be what it is.
Hey, hence why they made. And they put Columbus as a hero because if he was a hero, then we couldn't have been in slavery.
Yeah.
Right, and if we couldn't have been in slavery, then we're not the same people. We're not the people of the book. You see the craftiness behind. They do. That scripture says they do a diligent search.
Yep.
Their thoughts, their inward thoughts, are deep, man. This you gotta understand, man. See, we can't fathom this in our minds right now because we're destroyed, man. But when you really sit down and look at this from all aspects, especially spiritual, you're like, wow.
Right.
You know,
this heavy because you said you brought out about the sister and the image that we get to see and how it affected us. If we know where we come from, our image is we're gonna get the image of our forefathers in the scriptures. So they had to take that name away.
Right. And that's why it's important that we paint the picture that we do. That's why it's important that we're unified in it too, because you can also create the thing for some of our, let's say, lighter skin tribes. And there's some Judah that's lighter skin that they may feel a way about the skin that they're in.
Right.
So we can't do that. It's not really about that.
Right.
It's just important to see your people in positive roles and in positive images, right?
Right.
It's not just the color aspect of it. It's just knowing that that's really your person, right?
But remember, that's part of Willie Lynch. They made it a color thing in slavery. They put the light against the dark. So you have to understand that's also crafty counsel.
That's something we always knew. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No. You cool, man. But it just goes to show you, man, that we need to uncover all this stuff, man, because there were so many damn trick babies that they put on us. That this is why we are at odds with each other and we don't know who we are. Remember that the whole key is for us never to know who we are, because once we know who we are, those that are elected by the Most High God will start repenting and start following the law, statutes, and commandment, and they already know what the end result of that is. 144,000, according to Revelation 7, are going to be sealed. That's what they're trying to avoid, man. It's a big war between Jacob and Esau.
Yep, absolutely. Let's jump to page 124. All right. And we're doing the New Colonia in New York. Is it up? Okay. Yes, most Dominicans who arrived in the 1960s settled near established Puerto Rican communities, the most popular being on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, which is known as Washington Heights. So going back to the brother that said he never learned about Dominicans this way, this was also the aim of me kind of taking this route with the show the past couple months and going over these type of topics, because I said, I often say it, most people, it's not even just Judah, think Spanish people are Mexican.
Right.
And that's it.
Right.
I experienced that when I was in the military in basic training. And I said, gosh, all these people, they were like, they would like mess with me like, oh, what's a Puerto Rican? That's made up. You guys are Mexicans. You're all Mexicans, right? Yeah, you're all beaners or whatever they freaking call you, right?
Vexing y'all.
That, it didn't vex me then. Like, it's like, whatever. I was like, I don't know. Like, I would just look at them and be like, you're not hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? and in my mind, I was like, we got many weeks here where I'm not gonna be able to do nothing to you. So, okay. I would just let it ride, right? Just be like, you can't play with people like that. I wouldn't joke with them because then that's when they'll try to punk you and stuff like that. But my point was, and a lot of people didn't know. Hey, I remember in the female, the sister flight that was on the other side, it had come to our attention that they had a Judah sister there, and I didn't know this at the time I was in. I didn't know about Judah, nothing. But African American, I guess you would say at the time. And there was Edomites that had never seen a black person before, and one of the girls in that flight, that somehow she had spoke to one of the guys when we were at one of the medical things, and she was saying how it was wild because she went up and she was like, can I touch your skin? I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I've just never, I've only seen pictures, movies, things like that. She wants to touch her skin and touch her hair and stuff like that. And I say that to say the assumption can't be, because we tend to operate from our own realities a lot of time, that we presume that everybody knows about what a Dominican is, what a Puerto Rican is, what a Guatemalan is, what a Mexican is. I mean, well, Mexican, yes, but there's more out there than just that. So, that's why I like kind of this little history, and Dominicans very heavily, they're in more of the country now, and Puerto Ricans also, but it was a New York thing. It was a New York thing primarily. And a lot of that has to do geographically. Mexico's so much closer here to the southwest, right? They came over in larger swaths after the border crossed them. But there's a lot of displacement. And the reality is that they're right. These aren't immigrants. they're refugees from the turmoil that the United States has done in these places.
Right.
And they're not migrating. They're coming back to places where that was originally theirs.
That's
and
right.
And that they had trade lines and relations with all these tribes. I mean, a lot of times we think, oh, it was only Gad up here in the United States. But we kind of tend to leave out that they were movements amongst each other. They visited each other. They worked in commerce with each other. They were able to build this societies
Empires.
that they did, these empires, exactly, because they worked together with each other. And when they came here, they chose and they divided the land, right? And you have to realize they chose that land based on the prophecies that they knew in Genesis 49, that they knew in Deuteronomy 33. So it was spiritual as the elders led them to where they were. And they all stayed cooperating with each other. You know, they wound up going off away from the Bible, but the remnants of them having working relationships with each other was always there.
Right. But, you know, I was thinking about this the other day, right? When we first got here in approximately 538, 539 BC, and everybody was let off, we did diligently, right, follow the law, statutes, and commandments. How do we, right? It wasn't until thousands of years late, right? Because think about it. 538, 539 BC, right? So the way BC works, when you go to AD, you subtract. So
you
that's
gotta go
539 years, right? And then you got to add 1492.
Right, so it's about 2,000
right,
years.
but you got to take away some years from that because the Most High let it simmer. You know how he do, right? He'll let us continue to put our foot in our mouth, right? Continue to be evil, and then he's going to send the judgment against us. So we were already acting the fool, but the point I'm making is that was what, almost 2,000 years that we were following the law, statutes, and commandments, and then as generations, we started losing, right, our love for this truth, for our heritage, and we started doing our own thing. And that's when the Most High was, okay, now it's time.
Yeah, and that was prophetic, right? We started doing our own thing because it was prophetic that we would. Santo India says, I'm so-called Puerto Rican, and people forget that we are Indians. Every other, right? So, or indigenous, right? So we're all indigenous.
That's
all right?
right.
Because the problem then becomes now, especially with Puerto Ricans, you think of the stereotypical Puerto Rican city dweller that's been assimilated,
right?
All right, because that's the reality of it. While we may have some of the culture of Puerto Rico, we were born and raised in the Bronx. So we were in a ghetto of other Puerto Ricans. So that's what kept some of our culture and customs with us that were Puerto Rican. But it became a mishmash, almost a neo-culture of that and American ways, because we were forced to modify and adjust those things. So we kind of kept those behaviors. Sociology would call it a subculture almost, right? So we have our ways and like we just had a whole discussion, and I'm not Judah, but Judah was jiving with us on the government cheese, the bologna.
You're in the spirit,
because
I was going to say that thing. Look
That's
how
a
we're so far
subculture,
apart.
right?
Yet we had the same type of upbringing, and this is childhood stuff we're talking about.
Right.
You know, so that's a very good point. I was going to say that.
Right, and that's with the food, but it's not just with that. It's with other things, right? In general, we're disciplined different than the heathen discipline their kids, right? Our values are different. Our parents have different conversations with us about the world and how we should see it, right? That's the talk, they call it, right? Where, hey, you got to realize that people are not going to like you just because of your race, of your nationality, possibly the color of your skin.
So that's a defensive posture that we're taught. Esau has an offensive posture.
Yeah, and they teach them. They tell their kids they're the salts of the earth.
Right, their conversations are different from ours.
That this place is yours and every opportunity is open to you.
Right.
Yes.
We tell our kids, you got to go to school, get a good education, get a good job, you have a family, and do the best you can and be lawful, right? And live a lawful life, right? Not meaning the scriptures, just legal life, right? Esau's like, nah, hell no, we're in charge. White is right, okay? And we're special.
Yeah.
All right? You know, different conversations. I've always said different conversations, man, that Esau has that we have with each other. Ours is about survival. Theirs is about staying in rulership.
Yeah, our hygiene practices, are different than theirs too.
Big time hygiene. Yeah. I'm gonna get started on that. That could be another hour of jokes.
So let me jump back in. So basically, we're saying Dominicans came. And they wound up moving to where all the Puerto Ricans were because they wanted some familiarity. At least it's, And remember, we had also read that there were some Dominicans that migrated to Puerto Rico as well and stayed there. and stayed there. So there was a certain familiarity with this, right? So those early arrivals had expected to go home once the Balaguer terror ended. But as the years passed, the new society they'd found gradually altered their expectations and reconfigured their dreams, all right? The first organizations of the immigrants formed were social clubs and sports associations that were meant to keep alive their sense of community. So we always tend to try to mesh and be near each other in some way. Going back to that custom thing, right? Because we want some familiarity. This is why they linked up with the Puerto Ricans when they came here. The more well-known were Club Maria Trinidad Sanchez on Broadway near 104th Street and the 30th of March and 27th of February clubs, both named after important dates in Dominican history. The Centro Educacional Caribe, one of the first civic associations, was founded in the early 1970s by Alfredo White, a one-time leader of the sugarcane workers in San Pedro de Macorís. There, the immigrants learned English and began to study the American political system. The new arrivals were generally better educated than either Puerto Rican migrants or Dominicans back home. One 1980 study revealed that 41% of New York City's Dominican immigrants had completed 10 years of school or better, nearly twice the average of city dwellers in the Dominican Republic. Now, if you remember the classes on Puerto Rico, there's a reason for that. Right. Many of the Puerto Ricans had to, and dealing with Albizu Campos. He was a very educated guy, but he had to quit school at 12 or something like that, if you remember the history we went over, to help support his family. So because of the dynamics of what the United States did in Puerto Rico, many of our people there in Puerto Rico did not finish school because they went to work in the industrialized society that they put in place there. DR had it slightly different because they wound up being run by the U.S. by proxy with Trujillo's, with Bosch and Balaguer and all of them, right? So it says, on the whole, they were also more aware of politics than the average Puerto Rican or Mexican. Well, of course, they went through multiple revolutions. Puerto Rico at that point didn't. They just had colonization and domination by the United States. And they... even more than Mexicans, all right? And again, we also went over Mexico and the history there. So if you remember those shows, or if not, and you know you're tuning in more recently, you could go back and watch those. These dynamics will make you more aware of that. And it's funny because in the world we would look at that, right? And Dominicans were like, well, we're better than the Puerto Ricans because Puerto Ricans are bruto and they're stupid and crazy. And it's true. They're bruto and stupid and crazy.
But you see there's a cause and effect.
Right. But there's a reason for it, right? So there's the experimentation that was done on us. There's the radiation from Vieques. And then it's also the way we were kind of came here and how things were thrown at us, right? And how things were done with us based on how things were set up there and that drove us here. So it says the upheavals of the post-Trujillo era had turned Dominicans into the most radical group of Spanish-speaking immigrants in U.S. history. So they had a chip on their shoulder based on what had happened down in DR. So it was akin to the way the Russian workers who reached the United States after the failed 1905 revolution, or the Italian anarcho-syndicalist immigrants of the 1920s. Many joined branches of political parties opposed to the Balaguer regime as soon as they arrived. By early 1970, some young Dominicans, following the example of Puerto Ricans who founded the Young Lords, started their own radical organization. It was called El Comité, and it spearheaded a large tenant squatters movement on the Upper West Side against New York's new urban renewal program, gentrification, which was then gutting and demolishing low-rent tenements to make way for middle-income housing. The campaign against urban renewal failed as the city's brash and ambitious relocation commissioner under Mayor Lindsay Herman Badillo systematically demolished hundreds of the Upper West Side tenements and single-room occupancy hotels and pushed the low-income Puerto Ricans up to the South Bronx. Hence, that became known to this day as Little Puerto Rico, and the Dominicans to northern Manhattan.
Hence, Santo Domingo.
Santo Domingo. They call Washington Heights Santo Domingo. Yep. Now, I think I had the link about El Comité, and I can't read it until you pull it up.
Again, that's an example of segregation, separation.
Divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Right. Done on purpose. You can see even in the writing, they're like, they're, what is it? Comparing Issachar and Simeon and what other tribe was compared? Ephraim?
And Issachar. It was Issachar, Ephraim, and Simeon. They compared here. Yep, at that point. I need it too because it was from last week, so it's not there. Can you post it in the group and I'll copy and open it up so I can read it since I don't have my monitor. Post it in the Power Hour. Okay. And then there was also an article. Post that one too so I can have it up.
Yes, sir.
Very small frog. Brenda, you talk about the coqui? Brenda H. I can't believe a very small frog manifested the color of pavement.
Did you post the one that was an article? It was just an article about him.
I'm doing it now. You want to do the Wikipedia first?
Yeah, I just wanted to click on it so I could go to it. But that's fine. I'll read that first while you do that. Okay. Let me open it up. Let me come over here. We really need that monitor fixed. Oh, I got cables for you in the car. Remind me to leave them for you, Ashaya. All right. So, El Comité, or MINP, was a militant organization that sought to integrate. So, here's the thing. They'll call it, in a lot of the literature I read, Puerto Rican. But it was started by the Dominicans, like we just read, because they were inspired by the Young Lords, which we've spoken about at length on this show, myself and Aparium. All right. And so they made their own movement, and then Ephraim wound up helping them. So, unbeknownst to me, because when I was coming up, and not that I ever had any beef with any Dominicans, but I was taught that Dominicans and Puerto Ricans had beef.
Well, I don't know if you remember this, but down on the west side by like 110, I know our mother used to always say, don't go down there because there's a lot of Dominicans over there and they're crazy.
Yeah, so like late 80s, early 90s.
The 80s was crazy.
They
still had the Jerry curls looking like Pedro Martinez when he first got recruited with the Expos.
Hey, and it's crazy because if you think about it, that coincides with them pushing us to the South Bronx and them to Northern Manhattan. And then after that, because what we're reading is that we were together. And what we're going to read now is that we were together and working together when we were here. And then this gentrification that they did just had us pointing fingers at each other instead of them at that point. And that's what created this kind of tension for a long time during that time frame. Now, my wife's a lot younger, and she came to this country later. So, like, when I used to, like, ask her about it, she was like, I don't know about no beef with Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. I was like, oh, that was a thing.
All praises.
That was a thing.
It was more the 70s and 80s, and then, like, the 90s, it kind of started.
That's when it really,
bit, man, but it was really
no,
like
in the 90s, it was still kind of, late 90s, maybe it started to die down a little bit.
But definitely 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
For a fact.
So, right, and it coincided with after this. So, you're probably talking about late 70s, and this was early 70s when this whole thing started to collapse. So it says it was a militant organization that sought to integrate the Puerto Rican community in the United States into the struggle for socialism in America, as well as raising awareness of support for the struggle for Puerto Rico's independence. But it wasn't solely that. It started, all right, as a community-based mass organization, right? So it began a transition from a Comité, a community-based mass organization, to MINP, Movimiento de Izquierda Nacional Puertorriqueña, a movement guided by the principles of Marxist-Leninism. So they always try to label stuff. In 1975, the organization defined itself as the revolutionary left, current within the broad range of political tendencies that existed within the Puerto Rican community living in the United States. All right, it sought to create a unified, multinational, multiracial, and it was not multiracial.
Right.
All these groups were anti-assimilation, all right? Revolutionary political movement in America and gained the support of the Puerto Rican national minority in the United States for this political movement. Together with several other organizations, it was one of several pro-Puerto Rican independence organizations that formed at a time when the United States was coming under increasing international criticism for holding on to the world's oldest colony. All right. So it tells you it was born on the west side of Manhattan around 1970. It slowly began to spread to other cities, originally as a militant, community-based organization protesting so-called urban renewal programs. You know what's heavy about all these movements? They're all militant.
Right.
None of them are like, let's come together and like, they're all militant because there's people here, and once upon a time even more, years ago, that were very against the militant nature of how we do things here in IUIC. And you have to understand that what they call militant is what God called us being in order. Especially as we came out of Egypt. When you see how we were in rank and file, how we were in the you're in the wilderness. Without the discipline of that militancy, there's no buildings, there's no grocery stores, none of that stuff. We have to build those type of things with that type of discipline, with that type of order. There's no time when you're building a nation from scratch to say, oh, well, what's your opinion on this?
Right.
Oh, let's do it this way or let's do it that way. That militant nature is necessary. And all these groups that ever did any type of traction, they realize that. It's now that you'll that's why BLM that you see today as it's structured, right? Not that because some people have questioned, oh, what do you mean Black Lives Matter is BS? No, listen, if you're really paying attention to us,
right,
of course, Israelite lives matter.
There's an agenda behind it.
But that organization called Black Lives Matter, that's not a militant organization.
No, they try to portray themselves to be, but here's the other thing that people don't realize. Almost 70% of the people in that are Caucasians.
Well, that's the other thing too, right?
So what the hell is that about?
But their whole thing about deconstructing the family structure, having women lead households, that's not militant.
That's Jeremiah.
That's not right. That's women compassive of men. That's not militant. So these organizations, they all had that in common, where they set up levels of militancy, paramilitary type behaviors, because that's what gets the job done. That's what's necessary, and that bonds the unity, right? So again, like I was bringing out on Monday night, Zephaniah 2:1, when it says gather together, O nation not desired, gather together in what? Gather together in different ideologies, gather together with different races, gather together like if it's a democracy. Because when you read verse 2, he tells you the sense of urgency. Do it before that day of destruction. Do it before the Lord visits the earth.
Right.
There's no time to sit down and let's hold hands and kumbaya.
Hey, and that wasn't only an Old Testament thing, because I brought out a couple of power hours ago. Paul said the same thing.
Right.
To gather ourselves together.
Right.
Right. It was always about gathering ourselves under what? Under the banner of being an Israelite, and more importantly, under the banner of the Most High God and His Son, Jesus the Christ. That was always where the unity was supposed to come
as
from.
the Bible teaches them, not as the world, not as your enemy has taught you him.
Right.
Because, hey, you'll have brothers out there in your face. For example, you'll have brothers that'll go out to fundraisers with you.
Right.
Diligently.
Bring it out.
Diligently. And when they see something that brings up the Christian ideals in their head, they'll say, why are you out here begging from the heathen for nickels and dimes?
Right.
And is that gathering together on one accord?
No, sir.
But because they think charity means giving to the poor. When the Zondavins will tell you, since you like Christianity so much, you still got Caesar planted in your head, that charity, according to the Bible, never meant giving to the poor. It meant sincere care for a loved one.
Correction.
Not a stranger, but a loved one.
Right. Facts.
A loved one is not some random person that looks like me, that has nothing in common with me, that has no ideals like me. That's not to say we shut up our bowels of compassion for people. But you cannot bring that Christianity into this. And there's years of it with our people.
Right.
And it creeps up when you least suspect it, because guess what? You come into this and you don't walk circumspectly as you've been warned.
Hey, and there's many scriptures in that, okay? One comes to mind is I had never seen the righteous forsaken for bread.
You can never show me, there's not a scripture in the Bible. No, you're right on what you're saying. That shows anybody in Israel that ever fed somebody random that they didn't have some association with.
No, because even in Acts, they brought what they had extra to the disciples' feet, and they gave as they needed. Why? Because they were following the law, statutes, and
I got
commandments.
another one for you. I got another one for you. When Christ fed the multitude that he didn't know, why did he feed them?
Because they were learning from him.
Because they were there to learn.
Right. Christianity
twisted that. Because they were there to learn.
Christianity twists that. You know why they twist that? Because they paint the image of a Caucasian, surfer-looking, drug addict Christ on there helping everybody.
Yes.
Okay? And then they spread that effeminate freaking spirit amongst our people.
Hey, and I'll tell you straight, the reason I bring up that example when I think of the militancy, all right, is because there was a brother in our midst that this is the exact situation that we're dealing with.
Do you want the charity definition from Zondervan?
Yeah, you can bring it out. You can put it up.
I keep thinking about the Jeremiah scripture now because it's
Right.
like it's more than
I'm
just,
not making this up.
Oh, yes, in fact,
I bring that out because
I'm a witness.
because it's a fact. There's brothers amongst us that have this mentality, and then they mad at us. Talking about the Most High trying to show us something. Where's charity? You begging for nickels from the heathen. Wow. Coming out to every fundraiser. So guess what? Don't come to the fundraisers no more.
Right.
You're going to get a shot and killed over there. For all we know, that cop that been messing with us and the beef that's been happening is because you got a spirit there that's not really in one accord with what we're doing.
You already know. Bring it out.
So this is from the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary. Charity in the Bible never, ever means giving to the poor. Put it back up. I can't read it if you don't have it up.
Hey, you know that's an Edomite, man, that said, you know what, we could twist this, and when they see us begging on at the stoplight, they'll give us stuff.
Right. Hey, and you know what? I know it wasn't that brother speaking, but it was Caesar Borgia planted in his box.
Or it might have been the woman.
It was Sister Borgia.
In the deep recesses of his brain.
It was sister.
That made him use that term. Charity in the Bible never means giving to the poor. Never.
Right.
Never, as in absolute. But always, not sometimes, but always.
Not usually.
Always. A God-inspired love, which includes respect for and concern for the welfare of the loved one.
Loved one.
So let's dissect that a little bit. It says it always means God-inspired love, as God shows us what love is about, which includes respect for and concern for the welfare. It doesn't say of a stranger. It doesn't say of somebody that looks like you, somebody that might be your people. It says of the loved one. To define a loved one means there's some commonality there. There's something that makes them endeared to you, that makes them be loved.
Right.
You got something? I see you flipping pages.
I'm just saying.
You sure?
Trying to be prepared. Yes,
Bring it out.
He said, hamana.
What you got?
The love scriptures.
Oh, bring it out then.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 5 and verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
That's a loved one.
That's a loved one. That's a loved one.
Because they're keeping the commandments and
That's
they're not keeping
a
it
loved one.
grievously.
That's a loved one. Now, is it to say that, we go into our communities to do community cleanup.
Right.
But do we do that because we want their community clean, or we want to show them that inspiration and that example that we can come together to do something positive in the community, and maybe pique their interest thereby to come into repentance? Same thing with all these groups. Why do you march? You march because you want to show inspiration to the people. You want to show, right? Because when we watch Asian movies, kung fu flicks, and they're all together moving in unison and marching, everybody's like, oh, that's so fly. Right. So now put our faces there and our people's faces there. It's another way to call out to people for them to spark.
It's a powerful thing when you see that IUIC march, man.
Right.
Community relations.
Right, community relations. Listen, is it a big deal? You see somebody thirsty, you give them a bottle of water? No, it's not a big deal. But then where do you draw the line?
Right.
So when the next one comes, do you give them water? The
And
next
you know
one
that's
comes,
how
you
it
give
works,
them water?
too. Because
Then
they
the
be like,
next
oh, they
one
give
comes,
stuff
do you
out.
give them water? And then what are you?
The water boy.
Right. That's exactly it.
Hey, and you know how that's true? You know how that's true? Because how many times in our walk have we had people stop by every school that we had in IUIC, right?
Yes.
Talking about from New York.
Yes.
Talking about thinking we're going to give them food and all that stuff. It don't work that way. The food we're going to give you is the spiritual food, man. It's for the food from this Bible.
Hey, Cap, you gotta read verse 2.
Yeah, you're in the spirit.
Go ahead.
That's what I was going to say. Read verse 2.
Go ahead.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 5 and verse 2. By this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep his commandments.
Ooh, so that's what defines a loved one based on the scriptures. But that's how you know you love the children of God. This is how you know someone's a loved one.
Right. That's right.
Come on, man.
You giving them a water don't mean you
Say,
love them. That's not charity.
But you know what?
Come on, man.
Hey, check this out, Captain. I'm sorry.
That ain't going to
The
change.
same Bible Okay, well, actually, not the same Bible, but what's the saying? Give a man fish, and he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, and he'll eat forever. Right? That's what we do here.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like Cap said, right? We're not giving a water. What freaking water? What, 80 cents? You buy it in bulk? I mean, that's nothing. Right. That ain't the point about it. Okay? The point about it is that you can't come with some doctrine talking about that, you got to give to everybody. No. No. All right? Our loved ones that we just established ad nauseum here is the people who are following the law, statutes, and commandments.
That's right. Right. All right, let me go back in here. So we were reading about the committee. Let's read the history again. El Comité was born on the west side of Manhattan around 1970. It slowly began to spread to other cities. Originally as a militant, community-based organization protesting so-called urban renewal programs, the gentrification we just read about, that were replacing low-income housing with high-rise developments. And, hey, they were doing that before we left over there in El Barrio. They were putting up them tall buildings over there. I remember we taught about it for like 2 Sabbaths in a row.
Oh, that's right, when they had the signs on
because
the
they had all the signs up. El Comité filled the vacuum left by the decline of the Young Lords. In 1975, El Comité was renamed MINP, Movimiento para la Independencia Nacional Puertorriqueña, Movement for Puerto Rican National Independence. All right. Let me get the article. Did you post it? So I can copy it? Yeah,
yes, sir.
That's it. Let me grab this.
But you know what's interesting, Kat? We're bringing this out, and I'll be honest, I didn't even know about the group El Comité.
I didn't either, so I read the book.
but just to show you how much they'll this is history.
Right.
This is our history, right? And they'll keep it buried away where we can't find it.
Right. Hey, so look at the picture there, right? And it says it signifies a hope for a better life. All right. And that's a mix. That's Dominicans and Puerto Ricans together.
Look at that.
Marching. All right. Simeón and Ephraim marching together. Last year marked 50 years since the founding of El Comité MINP, a radical socialist movement that would last. And remember, we went over, they'll call it socialism because it fits into the box of the definitions, the labels they want to put. But we went over, socialism is Acts 2, socialism is Acts 4, where everybody that has extra puts at the leadership's feet, and the leadership distributes, like the disciples did, to those who had need. All right. So they try to demonize the socialism from a political perspective. And they're right. In their system, socialism won't work because remember what we read about their iniquities and their defiling. Something like that is not going to work in their world and in their system because of just their greed and their lust.
It's not in their spirit, right?
It's not in their spirit. So it'll never work. And that's why it's never worked in the earth. You know when it's going to work? What they call socialism is going to be the way we're going to rule the kingdom as far as the economy is concerned.
That's right.
Nobody's going to want, nobody's going to lack, all right? There's going to be abundance for all, and guess who's going to provide it to us, right? Obviously the Most High in Christ, but they're going to provide it to us.
All praises.
Right? So that's why it's going to work. So a radical socialist movement that would last through the 1970s and into the early part of the 80s. So right around then, right, everything changed, and going into the beef and everything that we were talking about that was had. Former members held a virtual commemoration hosted by the People's Forum, which included panels, performances, and presentations, as well as a screening of Rompiendo Puertas, Break and Enter, a 1971 documentary produced by Third World Newsreel that focuses on Operation Move-In and the early housing reclamation movement in New York City. The film portrays low-income families on the Upper West Side of Manhattan facing eviction under the guise of urban renewal. In response, Operation Move-In, a 2-year movement involving direct actions to reclaim vacant housing stock, began in the summer of 1970 and eventually grew to include many buildings and over 200 families. So they said, no, we're not going to lie down in this. We're going to reclaim. And they'll say that we were squatters. But we basically went into the places that they didn't want to live in, and we said, all right, we're going to fix them up. We're going to come together as a community. We're going to put up the walls. We're going to fix the doors. Because, that's one thing about Northern Kingdom, man. There's always somebody handy in the midst, right? That's going to be able to do something,
Industrial.
Right, and industrious with that type of stuff. Even if you're not particularly industrious, it's something in your blood that lets you.
Yeah, you become resourceful.
You become resourceful to figure some stuff out. Yeah. I could do a little something myself, but that's not my thing. I prefer to have somebody else do it. If it gets too complex for me, I won't mess with it. So it says It began in the summer of 1970 and eventually grew to include many buildings and over 200 families. The founding members of El Comité quickly joined this grassroots struggle, holding meetings in an empty storefront on 88th Street and Columbus Avenue, and publishing a bi-weekly newspaper called Unidad Latina. Led predominantly by working class Puerto Rican activists. And this is why I don't like that the article goes, because here we're reading by a Puerto Rican, Juan Gonzalez, that it started as a Dominican movement, and the Puerto Ricans saw the value in it, and we unified together, and we were helping each other because we saw who the enemy was. Now we can't see the forest for the trees, and that's why we look at each other as enemies,
right?
Not realizing who the real enemy is against our people. And it says it was developed organically from an informal collective to a sophisticated Marxist-Leninist cadre organization with chapters in neighborhoods around New York City, on college campuses, and beyond. Some of their signature achievements include the first successful district-wide campaign for bilingual education. So that one thing, they got together for a housing thing to avoid gentrification, and look at some of the stuff that came out of it, because they were unified.
Right.
They gathered together, and while it wasn't in the Bible, so it wasn't going to be the ultimate salvation, they put aside all of the differences and held a vision together. Right? Because where there is no vision, the people perish. And they established a vision together, and they all held to it on one accord as a militant organization, right? Later on, in later years, they say that went away, but they did that militantly. So they had a successful campaign for bilingual education. The legitimacy for gypsy cab, they called them gypsy cabs, right? I don't know if they was called that anywhere, but that was basically
livery cabs. Yeah.
Livery cabs. So what's Uber and Lyft today before apps was Rodimus or
you go to the hardware store,
or Vladimir.
You go to the hardware store and buy sign of delivery.
Because that's what Dominicans like. They like to give their kids Russian names. What's some other Russian names for boys?
Vladimir.
Oh man.
Radamas. Right. It was there. They were the ones driving the so-called gypsy cabs at the time, and it was like a Lincoln Town car always. So they legitimized them. And now they were able to get little signs, and it was called livery cabs and stuff like that, because they fought for those things. So they went to pick up and here's why those gypsy cabs were so important. They went to pick up passengers where yellow cabs would not. So yellow cabs dominated Manhattan. For you who are not familiar with the geography of New York, man, I would be hanging out in Manhattan sometimes, and it's 4 a.m, and they would stop if you could get one to stop.
Right.
And you told them you were going to the Bronx?
They were like,
nope. I'm not going.
Drive off.
Nope.
Or it'd be some Hamite. It'd be a
Hamite or
Elamite.
Now, in fairness, they were getting jacked in the Bronx. But
hey, they didn't give a damn how light you were. Right. You said Bronx, they were like, nah, he's a nigga.
They were not.
He ain't putting it in my car.
Some of them would try to get there. I'll take you as far as 96th Street. You know, they try to get you closer and stuff like that. The gypsy cabs, they did all the outer boroughs. So they were in Brooklyn,
crazy, man.
They were in Queens, they were in the Bronx, Staten Island even.
And let me tell you what else they did, man. Because Simeón, I always say, Simeón, when it comes to business, they on point.
Yeah.
They're real entrepreneurial, man.
Well, they started their first dispatches, Fat 8080.
It used to go, you call out, you be on hold on New Year's Eve, be like, prices are fat.
Fat, yeah. Fat 88.
Our name is fat, but our prices are lean.
Hey, so they, as they organized, they actually wound up getting dispatches. So there was a lot of ones that were your go-tos. Yeah. I remember they weren't Hispanic owned, but AD 1111. Those are all the cab companies and stuff from back then.
But
so
let me tell you what they did though. They understood that all I need to do is get the license plate, and I could use any car and write it off. So they were buying brand new cars, using them as cabs, and able to write it off as a write-off.
Someone said OJ. That's right. OJ was one of them.
OJ was
that was the other one.
Yeah,
OJ what?
You had what was the other one, man? Oh man, they had the ones in Harlem. Because if you notice, man, in each geographical area where we were
you had to go to.
Oh, you had Kiss. Remember Kiss?
That was another good one. Fat 8080 was like the cheapest though, man. If you could get Fat, that was cheap,
and they were the only ones that was like every New Year's Eve.
They'll come
5 in the morning,
whenever.
You know, you can never get a cab at 5 in the morning,
Nope.
New Year's Eve in New
Nope.
York.
Nope.
He be there already waiting. You just, you didn't even, hey, I need a, he's there already.
Those gypsy cabs, then that evolved into dollar rides. And so what they would do is there was buses that would stop. And they wouldn't go deeper into some areas. Like, the route just wouldn't take them there. Castle Hill was one of them. Like, the buses would stop at a certain area.
Yeah.
So people would take the train or the bus to, like, Castle Hill, White Plains, or wherever it is that you were. And then they start to call them dollar rides. So everybody would pool in there for $1. And then they would just drive you with down deeper into the hood.
Hey, and that's crazy because they got slick on that too. And what they would do is they would pick you up, right? And then they'd be like, "You mind if I pick up 2 more people?"
Yeah.
They'd be like,
That's how it
"Yeah, go
started.
ahead, 'cause I mean
That's
my
how it
ride
started.
gonna be cheaper."
Come
And they'll be
on,
stopping, bro. They'll pick up the net. Yo, you be sitting in a car with somebody you never met in your life, bro. And they got like 8 bags.
You wind up making friendships sometimes over that. Sometimes you see your boy you haven't seen. Oh, what's up? you in the dollar ride. Yep, I remember that stuff, man. I remember all
First class, that was another one.
Right, first class.
You're gonna start naming them.
Excellent livery day. He knew all of them. Brooklyn Dollar Cabs.
Hey, Quisqueya Cabs.
Quisqueya was another one. Quisqueya was another one. That's right. Damn, New York kids is reminiscent over here on this stuff. So they legitimized, though, the gypsy cabs, and they got rights from that. So what's evolved into Uber and Lyft today, damn, freaking white man, you stole that from us.
I'm going to tell you something. It's funny that you say that. You know what? That one of them damn owners or one Edomite came from freaking wherever the hell they're at, and they came and saw that, and again, they constantly do that. They don't own nothing, bro. Again, going back to the inventors, man. That just made me mad now, man. I got mad again.
Yeah, I cut myself listening to that. Like, I got angry. I made myself angry.
But all praises, though.
And then guess what? Because they have investment backers. Right. And they know we're the salt of the earth. They see our ideas, man, and they freaking up it.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
Think about that, man. He just brought up a good point. Lyft and Uber were around way before these jackasses.
That's right.
Yep. So they legitimized gypsy cabs, and gypsy cabs were what was important about them and significant was that they were basically going to the hoods, and the yellow cabs would not.
He said Watson.
Oh, I remember Watson.
He took it back to Watson.
Damn, he remember all the cabs, bro. He remember all them joints. Watson. That was another
bro.
one. Like they would get you, bro. It didn't matter what time of day or whatever.
Nah, yeah, that's true. And their base was in the worst part.
Yep.
It was right on Watson Avenue, bro.
Yep.
Watson like Lyft, huh?
Damn. He said Watson's like Lyft. They also created a Latin women's collective. And guess what? You're talking about the 70s and 80s here, and you're talking about so-called Hispanics. So that Latin women's collective wasn't a feminist movement.
All praises.
It was women with ideals. Remember how we went over the Young Lords, how they supported the men?
Yeah, I wish Shaiba said his uncle was one of the owners of Kiss.
Oh, snap. Look at that.
Hey, they had their car with the lips on it. Remember?
They did.
They had with the lips with the lipstick.
Yep. Yo, and it was cool though, cause it was chill. Because if you had a good rider and you had a good conversation, he'd give you his card. Yo, these are the days I work. He put his hours, whatever. You call me or whatever.
Hey, you would call him up. You'd be like, "Let me get 5-0." Remember, that was their car number. Dame 5-0.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, that loyalty went real quick if 5-0 was busy that night.
5-0 ain't give. Hey, if he had a trip to the airport,
you waited 30-40 minutes outside in the cold because your girl's dad came home and you can't be in the house. You freaking calling sorry 5-0. Yo, mándame cualquier que estamos.
Nah, because he made $80 taking you to JFK, bro, and he would have made 5 with you. Shit.
He said, "The hell with your 10 blocks. I'm going to do this."
Yeah, with your 10 blocks.
Simeón about his business.
Yeah, straight up. Oh man! I remember you had to have the toll money and you had to give it to them when you paid the toll. So you had to have the cash if you were going over the bridge, and you had to give it to them. Be like, yeah, $4. You had to have it ready.
It was $4 back
then. Yeah, back then it was like $4. It went up a lot. It's like $13
Hey,
now.
check it. Some of them, man, they would take the old cars. Remember how you had the thing that you would unscrew to open up the door? They take them things out, bro. And once he hit that thing went real deep in. You weren't getting out that thing, bro.
Well, if you had good fingers, bro.
Nah, but some of them, man, I think they filed it down. That thing would go deep,
bro. Yeah, because people would ditch him. Bro. They would pull
I
up
ran
in
out
a spot.
a few cabs in my young days, bro.
That was before the child safety locks.
But they would unscrew the knob, so you couldn't. It made it harder. You couldn't just lift and go. Right. You know. So,
yo, we'd be like, hey, you know what the trick was too, bro? Yo, you stay by yourself, right?
and your eight of your boys will be hanging out behind cars. Right. As soon as he stop, he pick you up, yo, they all run in. Now he's stuck, bro. Now he got to take it to the thing. Nigga, not they wouldn't stop. That was the other trick. Remember, if they saw a group, they ain't stopping for you.
Word. Oh. So right. So you would send one guy out, the most innocent looking one. Yeah. That usually was me. And I would flag the cab down, and then they would. But there was a technique to it. You had to hold the door open and not hop in right away.
Yeah.
So you would open the door, and then everybody would run in, and they'd be like, "Fuck."
Yo, well, we would have dudes on the dashboard, the leg out, and the back, because you know, don't look at town car
doing laps.
About 8 of us in that thing, bro.
Sitting on laps, and nobody was like pause or nothing, because the world wasn't like that. Right. So you were just like, yo.
You just wanted to get to the spot.
Yep, you just wanted to get where you were going. Damn. Anyway, let me try to finish this article.
Hey, what is that like?
What? Being in a cab with like 8 people? You're Mexican. You should know what that's
like.
Okay. New generation. I'm sorry, new generation.
Okay, Mexican Carlton.
Sorry.
Damn, he ain't got no life experience, bro. Gee, what's that like? Like getting in a cab with 8 people? It's tough, but you get where you got to go.
I've never seen such a thing.
Yo, we got spirits today. That came out so quick and easy. Because
it probably sounds real fun to him, bro. Man, you had no childhood in New Mexico, huh?
He said, what's that like?
Something about spirit just
we used to jump on a horse, like 10 of us on one horse. That's about it in New Mexico.
Oh, man.
It's new Mexico.
New. We do things different here. Damn. Yeah, can I get past this paragraph?
Damn, y'all got no life, bro. Damn.
Snap. Damn. So they legitimized gypsy cabs. They made a women's collective. They successfully protested PBS, which resulted in the show Realidades, right? To show like the reality of how they were living. A weekly television series on Latino life that lasted 3 years. They co-hosted the first ever conference on Puerto Rican political prisoners, which was organized with the Young Lords and the Puerto Rican Student Union at Columbia University, advocating for community control in education and organizing a coalition of African American and Puerto Rican construction workers for access to construction jobs in the Bronx, because it was all Irish and Italian that would get those jobs back then. So remember, I think last week we were talking about it was different in the Northeast. Like there was no schisms between, not based on race. Like if it was regular stuff. It didn't have to do it because you were black and I was Hispanic. We rolled in the same circles and we cooperated together because we were amongst each other always. Even so, there is a dearth of literature on the history of El Comité, which was only recently addressed in the groundbreaking 2017 book, Radical Imagination, Radical Humanity, Puerto Rican Political Activism in New York. It was written by Rose Musio as the first book-length critical study on El Comité, Radical Imagination, Radical Humanity. Not only offers a nuanced portrait of the group's history, but also provides insight into its unique origins and rapid evolution. So, it's funny because I remember for years, Bishop was always telling us, where's the Northern Kingdom Revolutionaries? What are the groups that did? And we were like, we knew of a some. We knew about the Brown Berets. We knew of the Young Lords, right? And that kind of is where it ended. And then we would go back and we're like, all right, there was like some tribal guys who fought the Spaniards and stuff like that, whatever. And it's now, I guess, the Most High shining light on this stuff. Because, bro, some of this stuff just like, I'm just randomly researching for the show and this stuff just pops up. And I'm like, damn, there was a lot more. So my point being, Ephraim was not as silly as we think. There was remnants there that was militant, that was gathering together, that was fighting for the people, trying to bring things out for not equality, but so that we can be together and make lives better for each other.
And what was important? What was important about Northern Kingdom representing and looking up, and Bishop was in the spirit with this, bringing out those leaders, because the aesthetics throughout our whole lives was always black leaders. Right. And it was very important to see that we had people in the Northern Kingdom also that were fighting for freedom, for fighting for recognition as well. All right. Because again, like you brought out earlier, that's part of that whole militant spirit.
Right.
Right.
I sent Shia a video, and it goes into this teacher talking about the importance of understanding that for Hispanic history, because they purposely take it out It's a little short clip if we have time later.
No, we're actually out of
got you.
time.
All praises. All praises.
So we can save that for next week's show, Lord's will. All right. So we will not be airing when we do the Day of Atonement, which is on the 29th.
Right, that falls on a Wednesday.
So that falls on a Wednesday. So and next week will probably you'll be able to do the show during Tabernacle, but I don't know if you're gonna have anybody on during Tabernacles.
Nah, we'll probably just put a preview.
Yeah. So
because I'm leaving that night anyway.
Yeah. So we're gonna have like a 2-week hiatus after that.
We'll still have the Power Hour on Saturday.
On Saturday,
time,
not the weekend of
not
the closing.
That weekend,
right. So we'll have one more Wednesday show coming up next week. We'll jump back into this article and finish up these last few pages of this, right, and then maybe move on to Nicaragua. We'll still have the Saturday show this Saturday and next all the way through until that first not that first Saturday, but that second Saturday in October. We won't have the Saturday show. But
we'll have a preview though for those who ain't going. I mean,
we can do a replay for people that are not in the wilderness or whatever it might be. I mean, hey, if we had signal and stuff, man, we could have done a special from the wilderness.
That would be nice.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Oh, Fear, you listening?
Maybe that'd be pretty cool. We'll do it with a live audience.
Yeah, we're gonna look tough, man.
Switch it up sometimes.
Do it with a live audience. That'll look.
Yeah.
Nah, you'll be all right. I look great in the wilderness. He said we're gonna look tough. I look great in the wilderness. I look great. Lord's will, we'll finish up on this next week. We had a lot of fun in the beginning, so this was only supposed to be like an hour of content, but we just wound up reminiscing.
Well, it's kind of like we needed it, right? Because I saw, kind of like, you had some stuff, man, but we needed some filler.
My heartburn was killing me too, so I guess.
Hey, producer, don't
energy.
You asked about how was that? Don't try to jump in a cab here and run out. This Phoenix, they got guns. You get shot, bro. And you're repenting anyway, so
don't do none of that.
Yes, sir, captains. We no more questions, so you pretty much just covered them already.
Oh, we did? Okay.
There's one more. Give me 1 second. It sounds like a statement and not so much like a question.
All right.
Does it have a question mark after it?
No.
Okay, so it's a statement, man. What the hell?
Come on, man.
Well, some people some people's grammar ain't good.
Well, they don't use punctuation.
You kind of know. It's like when you're reading the scriptures, you're like, damn, and then it's a question mark after it, then you got to read it again.
Anyway, that's the show. I pray y'all enjoyed yourselves. All right. All praise to the Most High. Thanks for joining us. And continue to support by liking and sharing and subscribe. All right. Make sure you subscribe. Get other people to subscribe. Don't just manually tune in. Subscribe. You'll get the pop-ups. You'll get the notices when we come in. Check the page during the day. We were trying to queue up questions for today. We might make that a segment every now and then where you guys can hit us with some biblical questions, and we'll prepare for them. We'll pick some prior to the show and we'll go over some stuff. So keep an eye out on the social media for IUIC Phoenix as well as the Power Hour, and like I said, just to switch things up sometimes. It'd be nice to just take some questions and things like that. All right. Any closing words?
Oh, yeah, no. Tune in this Sabbath, all right, for the Power Hour, all right? Episode 6 of The Truth Shall Make You Free, the invention of the Negro and the Caucasian people.
Bring it out. It's a Power Hour in the wilderness. Yeah, Lord's will. Let's see if we can do it.
They want it. Get people what they want.
We'll see, because the phones were terrible there last year, man, or the year before. So
mine worked great.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it low budget. Yeah, yours worked good?
Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you got the freaking that senior citizen phone.
Who's
with the big numbers.
He has a life alert.
The big dial things.
Cricket was killing the game out there.
Bro.
Cricket?
No.
Everybody else heard crickets, man. Y'all think it was.
I had the only phone that worked. Everybody was
But I had to drive down to
and you got the
Walmart
$9.99 plan too, right?
Mine would work sometimes. It depends on where I was. Like I would have to stay in somewhere specific in the park, but I don't know. I think Ophir told me something like they might have fixed the signal out there for AT&T. So that cricket's gonna be whacked
until we get out there.
Yeah,
and ain't nobody gonna.
We'll see.
Hey, shalom, family. Most High Christ bless y'all.
Hey,
With that we say shalom.
Most High Christ bless. Shalom.
Yeah, everybody's.
Lego.
Israel is back.
We back.
Israel is back.
We
got
back.
the nations running scared because Israel is back. All lies on us because we keeping them laws. When the Lord returns, Babylon will fall. Precept solid. We got them on lock. God's chosen people with Christ as our rock. Israel is back.
We back.
Israel is back.
We back.
You heathen, get ready for our whip to crack.
Damn.